today is Callum Jones, and those who may be familiar with that name, he was the referee at Chorley back in August, and his linesman that afternoon really had the telltale of the day with that offside goal for Walker, which should have stood. The team's just going through their handshakes ahead of kick-off here at Mill Farm, which I have to say on the far side of the ground looks pretty deserted. It's not the most accommodated terraced stand. Away to our right, the normal away end is actually closed, and the Scarborough fans have turned up in good number, 150 of them or so to our right in the seated area. They'll be making a lot of noise. They're close to the pitch in these very nice facilities, Neil Redfern, that you know well. This could be a really intriguing test between two sides who want to be on the ball as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got two sides that are very, very similar in styles of play. Fylde are in the advanced position in the table. Scarborough having a fantastic season. You know, with all the injuries and problems that John O's had for players, you know, he's done remarkably well to keep Scarborough in the hunt for promotion. But this is a massive game today. You know, as much as it's a tough game for Scarborough, I think this is going to be a tough game for Fylde as well, because they've already got the winning rights over Fylde with the result against them earlier on in the season. They'll be looking to follow that up again today with a win today.
How easy a message does Jonathan Greening have to give to his players going into this one? Because he said in the build-up to this one, they have to treat it like a cup final. Now, you don't just throw that comment here, there and everywhere. Use it for big occasions.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest with you, for Jono, you know, the lads will look at the league table and, you know, and that answers itself, really. It's a massive game. If they can get one over on Fylde today, you know, they're in with a real shout of promotion, probably even automatic promotion, if they can keep a run going. But like I say, two sides with nothing to fear, both good footballing sides. But there can only be one winner, you know, and Scarborough have got to go for it, like Jono says.
A quick thought on the team news as well, Neil Redfern. Theo Chapman gets his second league start of the season, despite players coming back and getting back to full fitness. Trusting Theo on this left wing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's an opportunity for Theo. We've seen him in cameo roles at times, coming off the bench, plays well, runs at players, been very positive, bided his time to get his chance. You know, Alex Brown coming back into the squad, being on the bench is a big plus. Rocco Coyle getting a breather, you know, he probably needs it. He's played a lot of football just lately, but be interested to see how this one unfolds. And we are underway here at Mill Farm in Lancashire, and Scarborough on an early attack. Chapman has tiptoed into the area on the left, sets across into the back post. The runner was Walker after Bennett had held it up nicely, but it has trickled all the way through to Luca Thomas on the far side, dropping into a left back position. A clearance away, which Hull heads back towards the Fylde penalty area. They're attacking towards the Fylde fans in the large terraced cop end, if you like. And Walker trying to get onto the ball, right wing position from a big diagonal, which Fylde collect, and they're going to head it back into their back four with Ethan Mitchell. And Zach Jones, the New Zealander goalkeeper, has spooned his clearance into touch halfway into his own half. Yeah, great start from Scarborough. Right from the off, the ball went back to front into big Richie Bennett. He fought for it and shook it loose, and they were on to the next phase. Good crossing from Theo Chapman, and they've been in Fylde's half ever since.
Saw Craig Mann, the Fylde manager, former Curzon Ashton. He just being slightly distracted by the Scarborough fans. I'll make it less colourful in a minute. As Mann was turning back, in comes the throw-in from Scarborough Athletic. Waldron with a returning header looking for Hull, which is partially cleared, returned by Maloney into Walker, who's chests it down. Leggy stayed forward. Fylde looking to pass short out of their box. They eventually clear. Chapman on halfway, can't trap it, and now Omerod is cut down by Dom Tier. Jonathan Greening wasn't happy about it, but a free kick just inside the own half.
Yeah, it's a foul. It's good play, to be fair, to run across him, and he's unlucky there, Tier, because he's genuinely gone for the ball and tried to make the challenge, but it's a foul.
Michael Ingham is not with us this afternoon here for Scarborough Athletic in the dugout. He's actually in Philadelphia as part of his full-time job with the Eye to Eye Academy. He's there on academic recruitment over there with former Premier League man Brian Hughes, former Birmingham City, Charlton, Hull City man as well. They head up the academy recruitment, and was slightly caught out by the Scarborough fans shouting to the Fylde fans, gesturing about the ticket prices for today's game, as Taylor comes forward, plays to Healy Byrne in the advanced right hand side position, back towards Greg Wilson. Wilson will now bump it back to Corey Whelan, squares it across the defence. Fylde come past halfway in their white shirts, dropping off his walker in that right midfield area. Ball's played now towards Ethan Mitchell. Mitchell drops it inside to Thomas, who drifts away from the box. Fylde in the middle of the Scarborough half. Good passing play, neat 1-2s in the centre as they just keep Scarborough honest, but the midfield remains a bit motionless. They're happy to watch them knock the ball about, and they eventually give it up, and Maloney just sends the ball into the opposing half to allow Scarborough to advance 10 yards. Yeah, I'm just looking at Scarborough bench applauding that. I mean, look, it looked nice on the eye, it wasn't two-touch football, but they actually went nowhere. Fylde, and then they give the ball away, and it's a yellow shirt that clears it. But you know, from the start Scarborough have made, that'll give them a lot of encouragement, because they were in that final third for a good 5-minute spell there. Watching the movement of the attack line as Mitchell drifting in from a left midfield position, now taking up a temporary striker role as Omerod demands it on this right wing, but Fylde down the middle. They try and play to their left side, a loose ball which Walker will collect, and then just a little twist away by him, even though he's right down in the right back position, twisting, turning, maybe needs to get rid of it now, and does so. Long ball away, and Zach Jones comes out of his box in his orange goalkeeper kit. And Fylde, after that first foray forward from Scarborough Athletic, Fylde are now the ones who've settled and are dominating possession, as Jonathan Greening just turns back to his technical area and has a seat alongside Ryan Blotton. Jimmy Beadle just after 4 minutes, 0-0 here on BBC Radio York. Harrogate Town, that trip to Shrewsbury, that's on DAB for our visitors and listeners of the League 2 club, and then York City versus Southend United kicks off at 5:30, and we'll have post-match reaction with Jonathan Greening to whatever happens today on BBC Sounds between 5 and 6. Throwing Fylde up in the final third after patiently working their way forward into Whelan, drops it back into his defence with Taylor, and Jonathan Greening asks the midfield to travel up to halfway as Fylde continue to bop the ball about the other. Yeah, I mean, they just sat a little bit deep, denying space at the back, Scarborough. I think Jono wants them up 10-15 yards just to put a little bit of pressure on the ball if they can. You know, they've had it all their own way, actually moving the ball about, but gone nowhere at this moment in time, Fylde. Jake Hull concedes a throw in just past halfway on the far side of the ground here at Mill Farm. Probably over 1,000 supporters here this afternoon. Fylde 3 wins in 9 at home going into this one, but collected a lot of draws. Healy Byrne now comes forward for those in the white tops of Fylde, up towards the penalty area, receives the ball again after just moving out to the touchline. Infield by Tom Whelan, into Chris Merry. Merry will give the ball to Thomas. Back then towards Corey Whelan, who now moves up to 30 yards from goal. Fylde not keen on flooding the box just yet, as they still continue to nip their way through the channels. Back to Corey Whelan once again, trying to overload on that left hand side, as now Thornton comes out of the defence, tries to usher Fylde away, and still they're patient, as again plenty of passes into double figures easily. Bennett holding station around the centre circle. Just look at the front players though, Fletch, and there's nothing for them to do. They're making runs and making movement, the Fylde players, but you know they're more interested in passing it backwards and sideways, and you can sit like that forevermore. At some point, you know, they need to try and get in there and pinch it, and it's what you do then with it, you know, how you counter-attack. If you can raid quickly against this Fylde side, they look a little bit outnumbered at the back. 6 minutes played, 0-0 here on BBC Radio York. Fylde have the ball on halfway with Taylor. Taylor will move it on to Corey Whelan, their centre half, then into Omeroyd, who's just retreated into the midfield again with his really low socks and thermal top. Again, Fylde 35 yards from goal, lots of 1-2s. The Fylde bench applaud us below as Fylde still travel forward 30 yards from goal. The ball to the left hand side, bit of a ricochet, and Whitley will be the recipient over to the right side of the penalty area, and he just picks it up, pats Luca Thomas on the back, and after 7 minutes Fylde probably had the ball for at least a good 2 or 3 minutes there, and in the end it came to nothing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at how Scarborough's going to go about this, and now I mean they've pushed themselves up the pitch. Ryan Whitley's just gone back to front, it's gone out for a throw-in. I mean, what you don't want to be doing is giving the ball back, to Fylde too easily. Once you've got it, you need to try and build and play. Just get the runners in behind, do the stuff that they're not doing. They're a little bit blunt as regards the forward pass, Fylde, and the runs in behind. The straight line run, the straight line pass is what kills teams.
This is Taylor, centre half to the left of the box, as Fylde begin to rebuild into Wilson, then on to Corey Whelan once again, who now finds Tom Whelan, not related, as those in white shirts now go for the big diagonal, looking for Omeroyd. Duckworth tucking back in, but Omeroyd into the box, might get the shot away, instead tees up Luca Thomas. He's kept possession after his turn away from Maloney, sent him in the wrong direction, as Whelan partners up now with Merry into Wilson, and then Merry once more. Attack breaks down. Wilson will have a shot after Thornton's intervention as Fylde rebuild. That last passing move had 20 passes in it, as Healy Byrne moves it over to Corey Whelan, and forward they come once again. Scarborough sitting off. Wilson, neat, tidy. Shirt pull on the edge of the penalty area. Ethan Mitchell trying to run in. Ball's run out of play. The Fylde bench were animated. Referee was unmoved.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him give him, but I don't think it was that much of a tug. Just gone past Jake Hull too easily. Showed him the pass, which isolated the big centre-back, and just had a little tug at his shirt. Just needs to be careful in and around the box. They've actually defended this early start from Fylde really well. They've got yellow shirts back behind the ball. They're nice and compact. There's no space in between the lines, and Fylde have actually gone nowhere.
9 minutes played here on BBC Radio York. AFC Fylde 0, Scarborough Athletic 0. South Shields already in front at home against Leamington. Paul Holloran, the former Leamington boss, departing the club after nearly 2 decades in charge. Worksop have gone in front away at Kidderminster, which could be an interesting game to keep an eye on ahead of next week, when Kidderminster will head to Bridlington for the return fixture after the opening day, which finished 1-0. Throwing down the line by Scarborough. We've barely mentioned them since the first minute. Fylde have had all the ball, and now Greg Wilson wants to run past halfway. First time they've really burst forward, AFC Fylde. It's all been pedestrian and lots of tiki-taka style passing. Mitchell will play to Luca Thomas. Hull hustles, plays to Waldron, and Maloney. Neat, very neat in the centre of their own half to Tier now. Can he find someone further afield? He's been crowded out by those in white, and a free kick goes Fylde's way because Tier leaned over after Mitchell came in and shoved him to the floor just past the centre circle. Yeah,
I think that's the issue, Fletch, to be honest with you. As soon as they regain it, Scarborough, they need to try and connect 2 or 3 passes. Because they're a passing side, Fylde, and they've got the vast majority of their side in Scarborough's half, they go back after it and try and regain it quickly. It's almost like 4 seconds of madness to try and get the ball back. But if they can connect 2 or 3 passes, it kills that press, and it gives chances for Scarborough to get up the pitch.
Showed as well when they did win the ball back, Scarborough temporarily neat and tidy from Maloney and Tier, as Omeroyd comes back towards halfway, feeds it to Healy Byrne. Bit of zip this time to their play. Healy Byrne will go back towards Taylor, and then on towards Zach Jones as they stand to our left hand side. Makes a bit of noise as they try and get Fylde away from them towards the empty terrace. As Taylor now past halfway tries to split the thirds, and it's neat from Fylde. Omerod, right wing area, into the box he travels. 3 around him in yellow though, so he's got to backtrack towards Healy Byrne. And then a neat ball to find Greg Wilson. Tried to do a little roulette spin past Will Thornton on the 18-yard line. He got the first part, but then the ball just stepped away and it runs through harmlessly to Ryan Whitley. 0-0.
Yeah, he just used his experience really, really well there, Will Thornton. Just got his body up against his opponent and just dropped that little bit of a turn. Ball ran through to the keeper harmlessly, but good defending.
One of the defenders netting, of course, at the end of the game in the reverse fixture. Kieran Willegy alongside Jake Hull, Thornton and Duckworth are the back four this afternoon. Alex Brown back in the team today for those just joining us on BBC Radio York, but on the bench. No Luca Colville this afternoon, a week away, and Perver suspended as Omeroyd tries to play a through ball, intercepted well by Hull. He's a bit sluggish in getting the ball out of his boot then, plays to Walker on the right hand side, back to Kieran Willegy. And Willegy goes up to halfway. They want to run with the ball rather than passing it. Willegy goes over near the touchline, just nudged by Mitchell, and that's a free kick in the Fylde half.
Yeah, that's the problem that Jono's got in this game today, and it's something that he's got to solve, because when they regain possession, Scarborough, they've actually got them quite exposed, Fylde, but he picks the ball up there, Jake Hull, and he hasn't really got a forward pass. You just look at Richie Bennett, he's not really an option, he's sort of wide. Walker's deep, that's your front three. You can't really see Theo Chapman, he's back defending, so they need to be able to connect forward passes at some point.
Maloney sends a flat delivery towards Thornton, 30 yards from goal. Hull feels he was being wrestled as he tried to win back possession, but Fylde now looking to break. Omeroyd is chased by Michael Duckworth, and then Thomas gives it back to Healy Byrne. He's done very well as the sun sets away to our right hand side. Glistening white shirts come forward for Fylde as it's with Merry working it over towards Mitchell, towards the penalty area on the left. Plenty back in Scarborough colours, only Bennett's not in the picture as Merry plays it out wide to Brockbank. Fullback advancing for the first time this afternoon in towards Tom Whelan, and that was nudged that time by Dom Tier and sends Fylde back into their own half. Just looking at how deep the midfield are dropping. Walker is almost playing like a right back at the moment. Yeah,
and they've got to get up the pitch. As soon as they get the ball, as soon as they get Fylde playing backwards and with the back towards their own goal, they need to get right up the pitch, and this is what Jono's on about, so they can go and contend that next pass forward.
Mitchell receives the ball in the centre circle. Maloney, just for the first time, trying to bait out the midfield and be a little bit impatient and boom the ball away, but wasn't successful. Ball went out for a throw-in over on the far side of the ground, back towards Zach Jones. Telford lead 1-0 away at Curzon Ashton. Darlington 1, Alfreton 0 is the latest score, and Worksop now lead by 2-0 against Kidderminster as Fylde flight a ball only towards Will Thornton, chested by Duckworth as he received the side foot pass. Thornton to Waldron, tight spot right in front of us, got the ball away. Bennett had just come a yard or two off the intended destination. The ball works through towards the Fylde defence again, who build from the back. 0-0, 15 minutes played, there or thereabouts, here on BBC Radio York, and I think energy at this moment in time from Scarborough is not being drained significantly. They're standing off at the moment, but they've got to remain concentrated at the moment as Fylde are really showcasing patient build-up as Wilson looks to come forward into Thomas, drops it off towards Mitchell, broken up by Waldron, then Chapman fancies a nibble at Healy Byrne, but Fylde again just a little bit quicker, moving the ball back into their defence as they now sprint forward with Corey Whelan out to Brockbank and then back once more into their defensive areas. Now they try and play through to Thomas, a little 1-2, then Wilson trying to come in, intercepted by Waldron.
See, look, there's no pass forward, so they've regained it, Scarborough, and they're looking up and they're having to play little 3 and 4 yard passes to try and keep the ball just to get somebody forward, and all they're doing is giving the ball back to Fylde.
And they've got it back again, the home side. Wilson collecting the ball beyond the centre circle in towards Whelan, and then Merry back towards Corey Whelan this time. Tom and Corey, one in midfield as a centre mid and one in as a centre half, and the passes are really stacking up. Duckworth taking up a temporary centre midfield position, won the ball back. Tier then tried to play through to Bennett. Flag stayed down on the far side, but it was just over hit, and Fylde will rebuild again from Zach Jones, their goalkeeper.
Yeah, you just look at, I mean, it's sometimes it's too easy just to sit in a low block. There's two banks of, bank of 4 and a bank of 5 across midfield, and then you've got Thornton up top. And let this Fylde side play, but you've got to be able to keep it yourselves, and you've got to kill the press. Get yourselves up the pitch every chance you can.
Fylde give the ball away, and that ball landed very close to us. You didn't even flinch though. I thought he was going to stand up and give it the old header away. It hit the roof and came back down, landed 2 rows in front of us as Chapman had burst down the left-hand side and Fylde cleared into touch. First time they were quite loose in their passing, and a chance now for Scarborough to build from halfway. Maloney goes to Hull. There's nothing on option down the right as Walker has tucked in, but he still wants the ball playing to him. Hull will continue to travel to the right-hand side. Now the ball is played, too late. Walker is judged offside.
Yeah, he didn't really need to go that early, Stephen Walker. He does well there, Jake Hull, to be fair. Just looking at Richie Bennett, who's gone down, doesn't look right good.
Well, under no pressure either. Bennett.
Looks like his groin.
Yeah, he looks in trouble. 17 minutes played. From maybe that run through where he tried to get onto a through all, and then all of a suddenly something's gone as Jonathan Greening calls everyone over to get a drink and get some words in. Fylde walking over at the moment, quite happy to take their time, but Jonathan Greening wants to get a very strict message, and looking at the finger pointing, Neil Redfern, Waldron, Thornton and Hull, they're the ones being picked out at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel that he's probably passing on. Look, you know, when we regain it, we've got to try and keep it, we've got to try and play forward if we can. We've got to try and get up the pitch, because what you don't want to be doing is camped in your own half and just giving the ball back after 4 or 5 passes. And that's probably his comments that he's passing on. You know, they started the game so well, and when they got themselves up against Fylde and they were competing with them and going after the 1v1 challenges, they looked like they were, you know, they looked like they could be penetrated, but they've just measured this start quite well, Scarborough. You know, 0-0, but they just need to try and get themselves up the pitch if they can.
I'm going to stir the pot now, Neil Redfern, because Richie Bennett has come over to his left-hand side.
Yeah.
Jonathan Greening got everyone over quickly. No subs went and warmed up.
Yeah, no, he's probably just getting his message across. I mean, the thing is, when you know you got a side that keeps the ball and you know works it across the pitch, but they've forgotten where the goal is. You know, for me, they haven't had a shot at goal yet, Fylde. You know, so you've just got to be patient. You've got to stand up. You've got to go with the runners. But when you get it, you've got to be able to do something with it. So you've got to think about the areas you're going to go and break into. You've got to think about the players that you're going to play into and off. And you've got to get your legs up the pitch. You've got to get yourselves in there.
I'm looking at Jonathan Greening giving Richie Bennett lots of instructions, so a chance to rejig, I think, as Fylde try and pop a ball in behind the back 4, and Ryan Whitley, bit basketball style, batting the ball down on the right side of his box through his legs to just bring himself back over. So looking at the shape, if you like, Chapman's tucked right in for now, with Bennett over on this left-hand side, so Whitley's going to try and pick him out as the ball floats more in field. Won by Taylor, the centre half of Fylde, and then a wasted ball out wide by the home side, which gives Scarborough a throw-in. But yeah, I think from, you know, in the manager's department, Neil Redfern, I think Jonathan Greening did need to get a word or two in, because they were not able, as you mentioned earlier, they weren't able to get out once they'd won the ball back.
Yeah, well, what he's done is, you know, rather than keep the ball and get runners to get forward, he's actually put people forward. So you've actually got Walker up against, you know, with Bennett up front. Well, the guy's a little bit higher up the pitch. Chapman is as well.
Well, Chapman receives the ball off Willedge, and Walker towards the box on the right hand side, looks to twist back onto his left foot. He's got a good marking job done by Brockbank. Here's Maloney, 25 yards from goal. Willedge's into the area, flag stays down, tries to then just drop the ball in field for a little cutback cross, but it was well intercepted, and then a free kick goes against Scarborough. Duckworth is judged to have shoved his man over, but I think it's words that Michael Duckworth has said afterwards as he gets a card on 21 minutes.
I still don't think it's value of a booking, to be honest with you. He's gone. That's maybe what. So look, 23 minutes into the game, and a lot of things have gone Fylde's way, I have to say. A lot of decisions.
21 minutes played, 0-0 here on BBC Radio York, as we see Fylde go to walking pace from a short free kick just inside their own half. They play it back to Zach Jones, who gives it on now towards Max Taylor, and then it's Jones again, rolling the ball out of his right foot. The goalkeeper hasn't been tested yet, neither has Ryan Whitley, as it remains 0-0. Lots of possession for Fylde, and at the minute waiting the first dangerous chance of the game, but Fylde from back to front, coming forward now with Wilson. Merry sent to midfield, ball's out to the left with Luca Thomas, tries to slide it down for Brockbank, cuts it back across. Mitchell wasn't alert, but Fylde with a chance. There is the first shot, wide of the target. Luca Thomas couldn't set it himself and drags the ball left of Whitley's goal. 0-0.
Yeah, that's the first time they've looked dangerous, Fylde. And there was 2 straight passes in there. One that dissected Scarborough's midfield. What you can't do against a passing side is empty the midfield. And they just did that then, Scarborough. There was a big gap right through the centre of the pitch, and it's too easy to play through it. I think Whelan picked it up, got turned, and then the Fed Murray, who was a little bit higher up towards him, just travelled 10-15 yards, got the ball wide, and they get the shot off from the end of it. But you just got to make sure they keep the discipline when they've not got it at Scarborough.
Luke Thomas, former Leeds United youngster who was at York City last year. The free kick goes the way of Fylde in the middle of their own half. Bennett is judged to have tangled with Corey Whelan, the centre half, I think, whilst contesting a high ball, and the referee judges it to be a foul, which I have to say looked a bit soft from here in the stands, but did the referee spot something minute that was an infringement as Fylde go back towards Jones? 0-0 it remains here between Fylde chasing top spot going into today, and then another free kick, and Thornton this time is judged to have nudged Luca Thomas. Callum Jones, the referee in the centre circle, just calls for calm. Thornton has retreated into his back line, but again that one looked to be an honest coming together, if anything.
Yeah, he has definitely lent towards Fylde, the referee, and I'm not sure all the challenges have been of that nature, to be honest with you.
It's not been a dirty game.
No, not
at
at all.
First quarter. Scarborough have to defend now into the box with Mitchell trying to pull it across. Comes back to Thomas. Walker on defensive duty. Gets in a muddle with Jake Hull. He won the ball, took a touch. Hull was ready to clear, and then Walker must have communicated that he wanted to run the ball out of the box, took a loose touch, and has now conceded the first corner of the game.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Walker, he's done quite a lot of work tracking back and helping his full-back, Kieran Wellergy, but just needs to do a little bit more going forward, and that was just a little bit of a misunderstanding, I think. He run the ball over the byline himself.
Well, they've got to be on guard here as they pack the 6-yard box. So many in there. Maloney is keeping an eye on Greg Wilson, but everyone else, 5 and white shirts in the 6-yard box. 7, make it 8 back for Scarborough Athletic as the ball is delivered towards the front post. It's a poor delivery, and a free header for Duckworth at the front post allows Maloney to get a block in, and he might win the foot race in the right wing position to win it back. Tries to slide the ball to Chapman across his Healy-Burn, the right back. However, he sweeps the ball into the path of that far side.
Do you know, just look at Theo Chapman there. That is the only place, to be fair, that Lewis Maloney can play that ball. He's under pressure, he's won it, the ball's running down the byline, and he whips it right across the back of the back line. And he's got to read that situation there, Theo Chapman.
Fylde now coming the other way and up the pitch with Mitchell. A few boos ringing out. I'm not sure what that's all about, but they must be maybe getting agitated in some degree. Fylde into the penalty area and then back out again. In comes Dom Tier, intercepts and clears, looking for Bennett, who's all alone in a yellow top. Fylde win it back again on the halfway line with Healy-Burn. Keep seeing Craig Marn looking back towards his analyst who's behind us at the top of the stand. He seems to be communicating and smiling, seems to be happy with the passing play so far from AFC Fylde. But then, where do you think Jonathan Greening and his coaching staff sit on the way that Scarborough have not taken the bait and stepped out too soon on most occasions?
No, but look, the thing is if you let a side get too much possession and let them grow in confidence, then you're asking for trouble. I just think that when Scarborough regain it, which they have done on countless occasions, they need to do more with it. You know, there need to be better options forward. You know, Big Bennett needs to make himself available. We've not seen much of Waldron in this game so far, and he's a really good player. You know, Theo Chapman needs to get involved. There's one or two just getting by in the game.
I think the Scarborough Athletic press team are getting a bit bored, Redders, because they've just put a tweet out about Michael Duckworth's headed away, and they've put great header from Ducaldinho. I mean, the legend of Ronaldinho I don't think was a set-piece target man, was he?
Yeah, very, very poetic.
Here comes Taylor for Fylde, just past halfway. As the home side switch it with a big diagonal, looking for Dan Omeroyd, and the sarcasm you can hear from those to the right hand side are the Borough supporters, who feel that they've been a couple of offsides from those in white shirts. Though, let's be honest, they weren't really easy to spot from our vantage point. They didn't look clear cut if they were, but the Scarborough fans feel that Callum Hughes has let a few of these offsides go, unless of course they still have Chorley in their memory.
Yeah, I just think as well is, maybe that's a sign of Fylde getting a little bit frustrated. It's a longer diagonal ball. It was a good ball, but he's just gone too early. Mitchell out there timed his run wrong.
Thoughts of Neil Redfern alongside me this afternoon here on BBC Radio York, as Kieran Weleji might win a corner here for Scarborough. He's put the pressure on Brockbank, who chested it near the byline, then swings his left foot at it from a direct approach from Scarborough. You can hear them to the right hand side, the Sea Dog supporters, and a corner was almost of the offering, but it will be a throw in which Waldron is going to take. Seeing how many go forward, 6 in yellow shirts for this one, and Thornton and Hull are in the mixing pot.
Yeah, this is where they've got an advantage, I think, Scarborough, with Big Thornton and Bennett up top. The other players as well, Walker, that's a size, got some physicality in there.
Waldron then to try and launch this one. It goes to the front of the 6-yard box. It's away from Hull, flicked by Tier when Maloney was just tiptoeing, thinking that there was a potential volley effort on, but Fylde now looking to break the other way. Omeroyd, he's got not many up there with him. Healy Byrne is one of them, the full-back. Good block though from Duckworth, and it's a corner at the other end. Yeah,
I just think he was a touch offside when it was played. I think Mahon, the Fylde manager's just got in the way of the linesman. It looked off, looked about a yard offside when he received that. Omeroyd, but good break from Fylde, get a corner from the back of it. Great defending from Duckworth, stood up brilliantly.
Very dangerous striker, Dan Omeroyd. 20 goals in all competitions so far in this National League North campaign and Cup football. As 2 arms go up in the air, there is a short option if they want to take it, but they're now going to deliver, trying to get to the back post. Whitley though, through plenty of traffic, 5 Fylde players again in the 6-yard box, but Whitley manages to wriggle through all of them. His clearance away, however, is misjudged. Chapman was all alone up front, and maybe he could have held on to it for a couple more seconds.
Yeah, to me that's a waste. They've spent 5 minutes there defending and and getting back, chasing back and picking up and defending the corner, and he's just giving it to Fylde straight away.
I noticed that Fylde, when I'm trying to keep count of how many passes they make in each build-up, the numbers are dropping down as the minutes tick by. They started very much in tick-a-tacker form. One back by Scarborough from Chapman. Walker into the area on the right-hand side. He's dinked one into the middle, headed away by Fylde. Comes now towards Maloney. Weleji will play towards Maloney. Craig Mann lets out a booming command to the far side of the pitch. As Tier plays to Maloney, as now they look to combine. And just gets nudged over Dom Tier, and then there's a little second bite to try and win the ball back, and Fylde come away with it. Not much shape to the back line here as Omeroyd comes forward. Hull now retreats back in. Thornton, and then a bit of a shirt pull by Thornton on Luca Thomas, and a free kick 25 yards from goal, and a booking for the captain.
Yeah, he just got himself a little bit isolated there, Will Thornton, and I think it probably did warrant a booking. That he just grabbed hold of his opponent, probably took one for the team, because it was a dangerous move there from Fylde.
Half an hour gone. AFC Fylde 0, Scarborough Athletic 0 on BBC Radio York. Remember, have your say during the game. 81333. Start your message with the letters York, and WhatsApp 08000 321 333 as well. We'll see this free kick, and then we'll give you an update on what's going on around the grounds, because there's been a fair few goals in only a couple of grounds, and you'll be shocked by one of the scorelines, I think, in a moment. Fylde 25 yards out to the left of centre, and Omeroyd with his low socks is the one most interested in this. He is going to run up and take it, and that has landed in the car park behind the empty terrace. That was anticlimactic to say the least, and he's got it all wrong as he tries to boom it with his laces towards the top corner.
Yeah, awful. Awful strike.
I don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, no, it was awful. As he ran up to it there, just too casual, too laid back. If you're leaning back when you strike it, ball's going to go up. Too casual, awful.
Before this season, he had 8 goals in 60 matches for Fylde. He's taken his tally up to 24 in 82 league outings as the striker. He didn't catch that anywhere as well as he would like to, as Chapman tries to feed it to Waldron down this left-hand touchline. A rare attack now for Scarborough Athletic, who win a throw-in. Duckworth on a yellow card, collects the ball off Jonathan Greening. They have a little message to each other as again Duckworth looks back just to try and get some more instruction. Thrown towards the penalty area on the left-hand side, cleared by AFC Fylde. Here trying to slide in when he could have stayed on his feet, because Tom Whelan gives the ball out wide now towards Luca Thomas, tries to dart a ball in. Thornton's block did the trick. It was scruffy. The ball actually hit his standing leg, and then he had to take evasive action before he was pressed upon. Waldron goes back to Whitley, who side foots it away. That's coming towards us again down the main tunnel here at Mill Farm, as it goes out for a throw in 0-0.
Yeah, he got away with one there, Thornton, because he was facing his own goal as he tried to clear, and it's almost like he tried to scoop the ball back behind himself. Made a bit of a mess of it.
Good ball down the line there for Omeroyd. Right wing position, Thornton trying to get across. Low ball in.
Great goalkeeping.
Whitley's done well. Diving towards his 6-yard line, smothers, and that was a great ball in from Fylde, and it should maybe have been 1-0 if the keeper had not been so alert.
Yeah, first time they've looked really dangerous, to be honest with you, for me, Fylde. Just a ball down the line, good movement, ball in the box, unlucky with the finish.
Scarborough have mentioned the shopping brand of the car park it landed in. Hit the roof of Aldi, which is behind the goal. Saw Michael Duckworth in there before kick-off as he gets on the ball now. Peels for a free kick as Wilson has gone down. Now, he looked like he was clutching his nose as well as struggling to get back to his feet. Fylde feel he was dragged down to the ground, and I think you can hear what the Scarborough fans think alongside us to our right-hand side. It's 0-0 still. Yeah,
I don't know how the referee gets a head injury out of that. His arms were low, maybe caught him round the midriff. Don't know how that affects your head. The referee's not been...
He's playing real-life operation, I think.
Well, maybe.
Let me take you through some of the scores elsewhere in the National League North. Bedford lead 1-0 at home against Southport. It's Buxton 0, Marine 0. Chester are 1-0 up at home against Chorley. The outstanding scoreline is Curzon Ashton 0, AFC Telford United 4. It was 4 goals in 16 minutes. Has almost ended the game as a contest before half-time. Darlington lead 2-0 at home against Alfreton. Worksop are 2-0 up away at Kidderminster as Scarborough come forward with Walker towards the byline. He's run out of room and it's a goal kick. 0-0 at Kingsley, Macclesfield and Merthyr. South Shields 1, Leamington 0, and Radcliffe lead 1-0 away at Spennymoor Town as a goal kick for Fylde played to Ethan Mitchell.
I think they've shown a little bit of resilience here, to be fair, Fletch. You know, for this half, they've had a lot of possession, Fylde, but they've stuck with it, kept the shape. Scarborough, track runners, got the bodies in the way when they've had to. You know, and as the game's gone on, they've gradually grown into it, Scarborough. They've had little moments, you know, but you can see them getting some confidence from how the game's going.
We don't get live percentages, but I reckon 3/4 of the ball has been Fylde. Now, just looking down at Alex Brown, who's got an arm around the shoulder of Jonathan Greening. So 35 minutes in, instructions, getting his insight. I wonder if there might be a half-time change coming up, unless someone out there has got a problem that we can't see just at the moment. Walker gets the ball on halfway. He's trying to move forward. Brown going on a warm-up now. Unless Bennett is actually struggling.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe push Walker into midfield, move someone along into a winger position.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, you know, in my opinion, the problem that they've got at the moment is the forward line. It's been quite ineffective. You haven't seen anything of Chapman. You know, Walker's been poor. Bennett's, you know, struggled with it.
Mitchell, ball into the penalty area. They have had some joy trying to float the ball down the right-hand side as Waldron nips back and side foots it out of play for another AFC Fylde set piece. We've had 4 corners and what would have been a dangerous free kick, but Omerod boomed it out of the ground. 9 minutes of normal time in the first half, but Fylde have done most of the attacking in this game without too many shots of note.
I mean, you feel Fylde here. Scarborough's left 2 yellows up, so they've left 3 back. Go and get it short, because they're one light in the box now, Scarborough. But everything's just been put in there.
6 in white in the penalty area, and it's a poor delivery towards the back post. And Whitley says thank you very much. Chris Mann, his assistant manager, you could see directly behind them. They're discussed as Walker's going to be offside from a long ball down the right channel, and a free kick goes Fylde's way, 0-0.
Yeah, front line's just killing them at the minute a little bit. You know, they've offered nothing as regards holding it up. About pressing, there's no shape to press. You know, it's off the cuff a little bit, and it's putting extra work on the midfield and the back line.
And talking of back lines, Fylde have possession once again. Feels like we've said that a lot in the first half, as Chris Murray gives the ball back towards Corey Whelan, just loses the ball in his laces, gives it back to Zach Jones, who moves it out now towards Matt.
BBC Radio York Sport. We seem to have lost contact temporarily with James Fletcher and Neil Redfern at AFC Fylde. We'll do our best to reconnect with Fletcher and Neil Redfern there at Mill Farm as well. Currently goalless between AFC Fylde and Scarborough Athletic. When we can reconnect you with the guys there, we will do our best to do so. BBC Radio York Sport. Let's, while we wait for the guys to reconnect, let's just bring you up to date with the scores elsewhere as things stand in the National League North. Currently goalless, as I mentioned, between AFC Fylde and Scarborough Athletic. Bedford 1, Southport 0, Buxton 0, Marine 0, Chester 1, Chorley 0, Curzon Ashton 0, AFC Telford 4, Darlington 2, Alfreton Town 0, Kidderminster 0, Worksop Town 2, Kingsland 0, Hereford 0, and Macclesfield 0, Oxford City 0, Merthyr 0, Peterborough Sports 0, and South Shields 1, Leamington 0, Spennymoor 0, Radcliffe 2. We have been able to reconnect with Mill Farm. Let's return you to full match commentary of AFC Fylde against Scarborough Athletic and James Fletcher.
Yeah, thank you, Pete. Apologies there, just a little blip in the system, but we're back underway. Fylde coming forward now.
Good ball.
Through ball, looking for Omeroyd, and then Duckworth is there inside the penalty area to clear away.
I'll tell you what, Duckworth's playing well at left back. Good balance, making good decisions, making it difficult for Omeroyd.
Mentioned at the start of the game how an old school fullback mentality might be of benefit to Scarborough Athletic, but 0-0 at the moment, and the chance that we've just seen, Ryan Whitley making a wonder save. He might be called upon again here. Thomas into the air on left hand side, twisting, turning, they've got to be alert again, and Jake Hull gets the block in, still not over. Mitchell, he has a shot, blocked by Domtier, and then on the follow up this time, Mitchell once again left of goal. Fylde now starting to warm up.
BBC Radio York Sport. We seem to have again lost contact temporarily with events at Mill Farm. We'll do our best to reconnect there shortly. Let's just bring you up to date with how things are going in the Rugby League pre-season between Huddersfield Giants and York Knights. And it's not good news at the moment for York Knights. They trail the Huddersfield Giants by 16 points to 0. 2 tries in 3 minutes for the hosts. 1 and 2 of the last ones have been converted. If you are looking for that pre-season extra Rugby League commentary, Andy Atkinson is available online via the BBC Sport website and app. As I mentioned, still goalless at the moment in the game between AFC Fylde and Scarborough. There's just been a goal for Chorley against Chester, so that is now Chester 1, Chorley 1 in the National League North. Of course, the late kick-off today in the National League is between York City and Southend, that getting underway at 5:30. In the National League, scores thus far: Hartlepool against Altrincham finished with Hartlepool 1-0 up. We have now been able to reconnect with Mill Farm. Let's put you back to James Fletcher. AFC Fylde 0, Scarborough Athletic 0.
Yeah, thanks again, Pete. We'll be doing the old switch on, switch off at half time, I think. Got 4 minutes of normal time to go. Fylde 0, Scarborough Athletic 0, but the home side now really cranking it up as Whelan plays the ball to Ethan Mitchell. Mitchell, 20 yards from goal, right hand side. Fylde again going for their neat and tidy passes in the final third. Maloney steps in, won the ball, but immediately straight back to Merry, who tries to play it through towards Ethan Mitchell, and that one runs harmlessly through towards Ryan Whitley. 0-0, 3.5 minutes to go before half-time, Neil Redfern.
Yeah, he just overplayed a little bit there, to be fair to Merry. He's got to be pulling the trigger, running onto the edge of the box. He's right in the D.
Waldron clipping one forward to Bennett. He gets it down on his chest, plays towards Chapman, but he's run out of room. He's won a free kick though, and I have to say I think he was a little bit fortunate there. It's one of those clever moments where he just saw a man in a white shirt approaching him and then went to ground as Craig Marn getting a little bit more agitated in his technical area, and as always Jonathan Greening has been quite silent. He hasn't got Michael Ingham alongside him today, but he's been taking everything in, and I think he'll be formulating his thoughts for what needs to change at half-time, because Scarborough, we haven't mentioned them in attack at all in this first half. Maloney playing a free kick towards the right side of the box, helped in by Tia. Lands with Bennett. Bennett then trying to wriggle away from the presence of two in white shirts. Comes out there to Brockbank over on the far side, and then gathered by Mitchell, who's going to try and... Well, he thought about switching the play through the air, went back to Brockbank, and from back to front, Fylde will try and come forward with Wilson. Wins a throw-in on the far side as the ball ricochets off the midfield of Scarborough, out for a throw-in on halfway.
Yeah, I mean, look, what they can do and take from this half, Scarborough, is, you know, they've been disciplined. I think they've frustrated Fylde at times. They've had good moments, Fylde. Probably should have been in front, but they're not. Goalkeeper's played well, Ryan Whitley. And if they could go in at half-time 0-0, growing in confidence, then, you know, they can just tweak one or two things so they can offer more of a threat going forward. You know, they can get something out of this game, there's no two ways about it.
Will Edgy then to take a throw-in, look from over here to be a foul throw. Don't think his hands ever went behind the back of his head, as Luca Thomas moves the ball in field towards Taylor. Fylde are able to spring out in the wide areas as Thomas to Mitchell, closed down by Thornton. Here come Fylde towards the area, tiptoeing again. Tom Whelan, he has got a free man in Mitchell to his right, but Fylde are happy to try and bop the ball around and draw Scarborough Athletic out to create an opening. Wilson from right to left to Brockbank, takes a few touches. Wellegy and Walker are close by. Infield now towards Ethan Mitchell again, tries to tee up Healy Byrne. No interest in having a shot as we're about to tick into the final minute of the 45 here at Mill Farm. Mitchell, low ball in, deflected behind that one. Jake Hull getting in the way before Whitley had to come and deal with it. Omerod was running in, corner kick.
Yeah, good defending from Jake Hull. He got himself in the wrong position, to be honest with you, because he's actually facing his own goal, but he makes amends brilliantly. He just gets across and pokes it out for a corner kick. So they need to defend this well.
Final minute of the 45, one arm up in the air, so something different off the training ground as Fylde will tee it up to the edge of the area for Wilson. No one tracking him down. His shot comes in and he's blocked by Duckworth to the right of the 6-yard box, and then a free kick goes Scarborough Athletics' way. Little pushing and shoving, and Callum Jones, the referee, blows the whistle and hurries to halfway to allow Scarborough to get up the pitch, and I would imagine maybe just a couple of minutes at most of stoppage time for the first half, which sadly from a Scarborough Athletic point of view, even though they're 0-0 at the moment, Neil Redfern, they've not really offered too much in attack.
No, they've not. You know, I look at the front three, they need to do more, to be honest with you. I get Richie Bennett is there as a target man, but they've not got much quality into him. I haven't seen much of Theo Chapman or Stephen Walker, and I think those two need to just do a little bit more, if I'm honest.
Cleared away by Fylde. Thornton will collect, and he's going to try and rattle one down the right hand side. He has done, and Walker is onside and in behind the defence. He's going to try and chop back into the penalty area. Jonathan Greening turns away because the opportunity to get a ball in was more inviting, and now Fylde are on the break the other way. Jonathan Greening looking at his watch in desperation as the ball goes towards Tom Whelan. Duckworth, however, good starting position, takes the ball out of the box. Was stumbling a little bit, now he's given the ball away at the corner flag. Waldron's going to track back, wins the ball, and he's kept it in play, the pair of them, Waldron and Duckworth. He tries to lift the ball away, the young fullback. Chapman now comes in, puts a tackle in, ball pops away, both sides appeal for a free kick. Craig Mann agitated, unhappy. Chapman gets the decision. He let the fourth official know, and that will probably get Scarborough to half-time at least at 0-0, unless they create something from this final forage forward.
Yeah, I think it was a foul, it was a free kick. I think Mann's just getting a bit frustrated with the fact that his team's not in front.
Yeah, 0-0 at the moment. Chances brewing for them at the end of the first half, after a very slow burner of a 25 minutes where it was possession. Chapman collects left wing area, and he might get the chance to tiptoe in. Fylde putting bodies back as Chapman, losing his own footing, now tries to carve one to the back post, which runs out of play. That will be the final action. So Scarborough in the end had the first attack in the opening minute, the last attack in the last minute, nothing in between. Fylde with most of the ball, plenty of chances towards the final 15 minutes. Ethan Mitchell denied by a wonder save from Ryan Whitley when he smacked it down the middle. Omerod with a free kick as well, blazed over the crossbar. Plenty of passes, but a very stern defence, Neil Redfern, which is why it's 0-0 at the break.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've had to adopt that approach because they are a possession-based team, Fylde, and they've done well. They've denied space, they've pressured the ball when they've had to. They've limited to Fylde to, maybe half a dozen chances. To be honest with you, they should be in front, Fylde. If the finishing was better, they would be. I think second half, Jono, he just needs to maybe find a way where Scarborough can get the noses in front, and now they can get themselves up the pitch a little bit quicker and support Big Richie Bennett up front. But 0-0 against a decent side away from home. They've done half the job. Sit back in the second half now and what they're doing there.
I've just seen one of the directors of AFC Fylde come down and have a chat with Craig Mann before he heads down the tunnel. You mentioned it in the first half, Redders, the disconnect, if you like, between the backline, midfield and the attack. They just weren't able to get up the pitches as easily as they have wanted to previously. It's clear that they've tried to counter-attack in the first half, but how do they become more knitted together?
Well, it was interesting when Jono got everybody over, and what they actually did, well, rather than go from a counter-attacking position, they actually put people in those positions. So they changed the shape a little bit. They tucked Walker in a little bit narrower alongside Bennett. They brought Chapman off the line, so it was more like a narrow three. They tried to get the ball into Bennett, get the flick on, get the knockdown, and it did have a little bit of an impact. I just think that those three, not so much Bennett but the other two, they just got to do a little bit more. If you can get Chapman 1v1, then he's got to go past people and try and create things. I think from Walker's point of view, he's maybe more of an out-and-out striker. He's got to play a little bit closer to Bennett, maybe a lopsided front two, and anything that goes into Bennett, then he's got to be reading and getting off the back of it. But as an away performance, back line's done well. I think Duckworth at fullback's done outstanding. Weller's played well. Two centre backs have been good. Hull's been caught a little bit at times down this right hand side with his lack of pace. But look, you're going to get that with your big men if you get exposed. But I think the midfield have worked the socks off. Maloney, Waldron and Tia have been exceptional. And
they have some opportunity to change things in the second half because they've got 6 on the bench with players coming back. So how will the second half materialise? We'll find out in about 15 minutes time. But at the moment, Jonathan Greening's side will be happy that they are still level against AFC Fylde. No goals, 0-0 here at Mill Farm. AFC Fylde 0, Scarborough Athletic 0.
The money from your dad's life insurance came through.
Dad was my best friend.
You really should have friends your own age.
On BBC iPlayer.
How are you alive?
It turns out I hadn't died.
This is fraud. You can go to prison.
Your dad might not be dead physically, but emotionally, he's been gone since the 90s.
One little lie, one massive mess.
Come on, we're being blackmailed.
What sort of friend blackmails her own mates?
Can you keep a secret?
We're a code red.
Get back in the house, you meant to be dead.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Every game live and getting you closer to your club.
BBC Radio York Sport.
BBC Radio York Sport, Pete Spencer taking you through half-time. So goalless at the break in Lancashire. AFC Fylde 0, Scarborough Athletic 0 there at Mill Farm. It's also half-time at Crown Meadow. So let's get an update from Harrogate Town away at Shrewsbury. What news, Tim Steer?
Very tight game at the moment. Shrewsbury Town 0, Harrogate Town 0. Played in a fashion where both teams know that it's such a massive game for them. Nobody wanting to make mistakes really in that sense. The home team have probably looked more likely to be in front in this one, with 10 shots to 6, 4 on target for Shrewsbury compared to Harrogate's 1. The best one of those, Ogunsoyi volleying over the bar from 12 yards out. Harrogate can maybe count themselves a little bit fortunate to still have 10 men on the field. Chance Hedman on debut with a really strong tackle on halfway. The Shrewsbury Town bench were up straight away to protest, so were the Shrewsbury players as well, but the referee just giving the young defender a yellow card for that incident. Henry Gray as well tried to play out from the back by chipping it over John Marquis, which didn't go quite to plan. Ogunsoyi got it back to Marquis, but credit to the Kiwi goalkeeper, made a good save down low. Emil Aquas looked strong in his debut up front, looking like a real target man for Harrogate Town, and he had the one shot on target for the visitors as the ball fell to him on the edge of the box. He tried to curl it with the inside of his right boot, and the keeper making a save to his left hand side. Otherwise, not a huge amount in terms of shots on goal for Harrogate Town really in that first half, but reverting back to the 3 centre-backs with wing-backs because of the absence of Jacob Slater to allow them to really be a back 4, and with 2 new signings in that back line as well. It's maybe not looked quite as assured at times, but overall I think Harrogate Town will be happy enough because it is all level at the break. The home side will be expected to come out firing in the second half. They'll be expected to go on and win this game. For Harrogate Town, as we say, it'd be a big win if they could get it, but it's definitely a case of mustn't lose as well this afternoon for them in their battle to stay in League 2. Half-time score is Shrewsbury Town 0, Harrogate Town 0.
Thank you, Tim Steer. Their second half commentary to come on DAB Digital Radio of Shrewsbury Town against Harrogate Town there at Crowd Meadow. Tim Steer and Hal Boxall-Dockery keeping you abreast of things there in Shropshire. Let's run you through some of the other half-time scores as things stand. Huddersfield Giants 16, New York Knights 0 at the Aku Stadium. If you want second half commentary with Andy Atkinson, you can find that online via the BBC Sport website, and the link for that is on our Twitter page. Let's just bring you up to date with the other local scores this afternoon. In the Northern Counties East League Premier Division, Tadcaster Albion 1, Botsford Town 0 at the Young Guns Arena. Spencer Harris with a strike in the final minute of the first half there. Knaresborough Town 2-0 up away at Parkgate. It's 1-1 between Pickering Town and Rossington Lane at Mill Lane. In Division 1, Harrogate Railway 2-2 away at Doncaster City. Selby Town are 1-0 up against Winterton Rangers at home, and a tough first half for managerless Northallerton Town, 3-0 down at home at the Calvert Stadium to Kendal Town. So it's BBC Radio York Sport, Pete Spencer taking you through half-time here. Of course, later on today, York City are in action at the later time of 5:30 against Southend. It's also City's first home match of 2026. Let's cross to the LNER Community Stadium and speak to our York City commentary team of David Ward and Ian Dunn. And David, I guess coming into this match, 2 big blows with the fact that Joe Felix and Malachi Fagan-Walcott both out for a significant period of time, it looks like.
Well, yeah, one big blow, I would say, Malachi Fagan-Walcott being out. That there's no disguising that is a loss. Joe Felix hasn't been playing in recent weeks, and he's expected to be back within around about a fortnight, possibly 3 weeks. So I don't think that's a great loss as things stand, just because I don't think he was really in Stuart Maynard's plans. He's brought Jeff King back, and he was obviously gone above him, I think, in the pecking order. One thing I can quickly tell you before we get the views of former York City striker Ian Dunn is that Tyree Sinclair's not part of the matchday squad today because he's out on the pitch going through some sort of a mini training session alongside Mo Federa and Ollie Banks, who of course is suspended. So that's a bit of breaking news for you, that Tyree Sinclair, it appears, will not be involved in the York City matchday squad today. But Ian, your thoughts on how big a blow it is that Malachi's out for 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that?
It's huge, isn't it? He's probably the best centre half in the league, bar none. You know, he's a lad that could play probably a level, maybe 2 levels higher, and then go on, you know. So he's going to be a huge miss for York City.
And I put it to Stuart Maynard, actually, in the pre-match presser ahead of this one on Thursday, that the way that he plays is why it's such a big loss, because he goes forward from that right-sided centre-back position. We never saw... This is not a criticism of Zach Johnson, and City were on the back foot at times when they were defending that 2-1 lead at Sutton, so you understand why. But he's not the type of centre-back, what we've seen so far, that is going to go marauding forward with the ball and, at times, be the last man putting crosses in when he gets to the byline like Malachi does.
This is the thing, that there probably isn't another one like Malachi, because at this level, and it's no disrespect to this level, because we all know how tough it is to get out of it and how competitive the league is. But for a player like Malachi, who I believe is maybe like I say, a level, maybe 2 better than this, he can do that because he's got that ability. He's got that rangy run. He's fast. He's quick. He's powerful. He's confident. He's good on the ball. He's got everything you really want for a centre half at this level to be able to do that. And his manager trusts him to do that as well. So it adds an extra layer of attacking threat for York City from your centre back, which is phenomenal. And that's why we'll miss him. I defensively, I actually think we'll be. Touch wood. I think defensively we'll be okay.
I agree,
because we've got good players who can defend. It's what he does. It's what he does other than just defend. He's a phenomenon at this level for me. We talk about our centre half. You just said then getting to the byline and putting crosses in. He's our centre back. So that's where we'll miss him. I think defensively, I think we're sound. I think that the team's well organised. It's well briefed. It looks defensively strong. But yeah, you're going to miss a player like Malachi Fagan-Walcott.
Briefly, because I know they'll be getting them back underway in our other games in the second half shortly. This is a big game for York City, isn't it? Although all the games now are big games.
It is a cliche, isn't it? Every game is a big game because every game is tough. I'm just saying how good Malachi is, but this is a competitive league. The teams that are in it they're all well organised. They're all strong. They're all fit. At this level, you used to get a few teams that maybe weren't quite, a few bellies like mine and yours. Mine's bigger than yours. But you don't now. These are professional players. Almost all of them are professional players, and they prepare for matches. They're well organised. So every game's tough. And like the manager says, you just got to take each game as it comes. This will be a tough match. It's Southend. I class them as a league side still. I know they've been here for a while, but they're very similar to us in that they'll expect more. They'll have a good following. I think it'll be a good game.
It should be a good game, Pete. Of course, kick-off is at the later time of 5:30. I don't know if you've been through the half-time scores in all the other games, but fair to say that it's probably a mixed bag of scorelines as all those games in the National League get back underway at the start of the second half. As things stand, York City will start this match not on top of the National League because of those other results, those other scorelines.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much to David Ward and to Ian Dunn there as well. Yes, as you mentioned, Forest Green 1-0 up away at Sutton and Boreham Wood 2-0 up away at Braintree. So at the moment, York City dropped to third in the National League. Let's run you through, as David mentioned them there, the scores in the National League while we wait for both of our other sides to get back underway for the second half. The early kickoff saw Hartlepool United winning 1-0 at home against Altrincham, Brackley Town 2, Yeovil 1, Braintree 0, Boreham Wood 2, as I mentioned, Eastleigh 0, Aldershot 0, FC Halifax Town 1, Boston United 1, Gateshead 0, Rochdale 1, Morecambe 1, Scunthorpe United 0, Solihull Moors 2, Carlisle 1, Sutton 0, Forest Green 1. So Forest Green winning in that game, but also going down to 10 men with a red card, a second red card for new signing Ricardo Rees. So maybe something for York City fans to hold on to there in the second half. Truro 0, Tamworth 0 and Wealdstone 0, Woking 0. As David rightly mentioned, York City against Southend United is the late kickoff there at 5:30. While we wait for our other teams to emerge back out of the tunnel, I can bring you up to date with things as they stand in the Premier League. And the early kickoff, a dream start really for Manchester United and caretaker manager Michael Carrick with a 2-0 win in the Manchester derby over Manchester City, putting a bit of a dent in City's Premier League title aspirations there for Pep Guardiola in what could be his final season there at the Etihad. Chelsea 1, Brentford 0 is a half-time scoreline, goalless between Leeds United and Fulham. Liverpool 1-0 up against Burnley in that one. Sunderland 1, Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, West Ham United 1, and the late kickoff in the Premier League is between Nottingham Forest and the Premier League leaders Arsenal as well. As things stand in the Women's FA Cup fourth round draw, Sunderland 0, London City Lionesses 1. That is a full-time score, so London City Lionesses through to the fifth round. Chelsea 5, Crystal Palace 0 in that one. So Chelsea making it comfortably through to the 5th round. Just to mark your card for York City Ladies are in action tomorrow away at Chatham Town as well. We will be following the York City Ladies down there as well. We will be catching up with the squad as well, hopefully on Monday's breakfast show for you as well. And if you missed it yesterday, we spoke and caught up with the manager, Dan Jackson, as well. So that interview is available for you online, and also we will play it for you at half-time in York City's a game this afternoon against Southend. Right, both teams are now emerging out of the tunnel, so it's time to split our frequencies once again here on BBC Radio York. If you want to listen to Harrogate Town away at Shrewsbury Town in League 2, Tim Steer and Hal Boxall Dockery are on DAB Digital Radio. If you want Rugby League commentary, York Knight's second half in their pre-season match against Huddersfield Giants has kicked off. Andy Atkinson is online via the BBC Sport website and app. And if you want Scarborough Athletic away at AFC Fylde, James Fletcher and Neil Redfern are with you on FM and BBC Sound. So that's your choice of listening. Once again, it's Make Your Mind Up time.
Every game live and getting you closer to your club.
BBC Radio York Sport.
Who's not come back out?
Thank you, Pete. It's 0-0 here at half-time. Second half about to emerge, and Alex Brown is going to be a half-time substitute for Scarborough Athletic. The man who hasn't come back out is Theo Chapman, so this could indicate that Brown goes into a left-back position. Duckworth may go into centre-back. Walker looks like he's gone over towards the left-hand side, possibly even a change of shape, and they've gone into a 5 at the back here for Scarborough Athletic. We'll see how it materialises, but Alex Brown making his way over to the left-hand side. And you think that's the right move, Neil Redfern?
Yeah, well, what it does is it allows Walker to play up alongside Walker and Tia to play as two 10s alongside Big Bennett up front. Obviously the two midfield players, Maloney and Waldron, need to anchor and that play with some discipline, and it gives Scarborough a chance to defend the full width of the pitch, which has been a problem for them in the first half.
Yeah, in the final 15 minutes or so of that second half, they were starting to come under more and more pressure. The first 20 minutes felt like, as you mentioned, Neil Redfern, at the end of the first half, it felt like just passing practice in training, as Tia wins the ball temporarily, loses it again as Walker goes sprinting down the middle. And we'll give you a run through of the 11 that's come out for the second half in just a moment, as Fylde try and get in behind the Scarborough defence with a ball through the air, which Thornton deals with well. Duckworth into Maloney, and then Maloney gives it away, but the back 5 are very defiant. So let's have a look at how Scarborough line up now then. They were unchanged at kick-off, but one change at half-time. Whitley is in goal. It looks as though Wileji has gone into a right wing-back position with Hull, Thornton and Duckworth as 3 centre-halves. Then Alex Brown as a left wing-back. Waldron and Maloney then almost like a diamond, if you like, in midfield, because Tia looks like he's sitting in behind Walker and Bennett, giving the width to Wileji and Brown. Through ball though for Mitchell. Mitchell cuts across. Omerod just needed to stick a toe out. He had an open goal at his mercy and he failed to do so. Fylde still on the move though. Whelan will play the ball down the left-hand touchline in towards Brockbank, who has Luca Thomas for company. Brockbank will play back towards Tom Whelan, but what a dangerous chance at the start of the second half, Neil Redfern.
Yeah, I mean, that should have ended up in the back of the net, really. And if Omerod had been on the ball and ready for it, it would have been a tap-in for him, but they've just got to adjust to this new formation now, Scarborough, as quickly as possible.
Brockbank plays to Luca Thomas, trying to eliminate the spaces with a back 5 now. Scarborough. Thomas 20 yards from goal, gets away from Maloney, a through ball to Mitchell. They've started this second half well, Fylde, but it's cut out. A cut back, corner kick. Jonathan Greening stares down at the ground. Fylde have come out red hot.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, John, you can't knock him for trying to do something a little bit different and go with a 5 at the back, and it gets more bodies up front to try and target and play into. But what it does is it gives a good football inside, find a little bit more room in midfield, probably the extra player advantage.
Yeah, we'll go through Fylde's team in a minute, but the ball is whipped in towards the front post. Duckoff with a header away. Maloney then tries to help it on. There's one or two appeals for a nudge in his back, as now we have Fylde in possession again. Ball played in, swerving, but cut out as Tom Whelan is unable to find a man in white, held up by Walker. His ball behind Brown, who's in that left wing back position, but he's fed the ball to Waldron, who has got a bit of space to run into here. Unexpectedly down the left, plays towards Walker, who's going to try and play it in field to Tia, 20 yards from goal. Tia can't bring it in, however, as Chris Merry wraps him up. And 3 minutes into the second half, Fylde will for the first time build up their own defensive lines. You've mentioned there Neil Redfern, Jonathan Greening, not afraid to shake things up, and it'll be interesting to see how it transpires with what looks like a box midfield, but Fylde coming the other way. Thomas trying to get through from a through ball, and I think there may be a corner kick coming here. Brown is judged to have touched the ball before crossing the white line. Now he pleads his innocence.
Difficult to see from here on it, but maybe a little bit harsh, to be honest with you.
Had a very good think about it, did the referee Callum Jones, who's not been to shy away from controversy involving Scarborough Athletics so far this season. That Chorley game back in August, as Fylde will look to deliver to one of 6 in white shirts running in from the penalty spot, bounces inside the area, and Weleji now side foots it away, looking to find Dom Tier, who looked to be grabbed back by Healy Byrne, and that's going to be a free kick in the middle of Scarborough's half.
Yeah, that's good play by Dom Tier, to be fair. Gets his body in, puts his body on the line for his teammates just to win a free kick and get the yellow shirts of Scarborough up the pitch, but they defended that corner really well.
And they're going to walk out and allow Ryan Whitley to boom this ball away. Fylde have gone 4-4-2 this afternoon with Zach Jones as their goalkeeper, Alex Healy-Byrne, Max Taylor, Corey Whelan and Liam Brockbank in defence. Greg Wilson, Tom Whelan, Chris Merry and Ethan Mitchell are the midfield four. Luca Thomas and Dan Omeroyd are up front. As the ball from Whitley bounces past Bennett. There should be a Scarborough throw-in the opposing half, and it is. As Chris Mann looks at his assistant manager again, they've been very vocal talking to each other. Jonathan Greening, hands in pockets, stands alone at the moment. As Weleji throws it in, and he's judged to have given a foul throw. I mean, the one in the first half did look like a foul throw, but that time he pleads his innocence. 5 minutes into the second half, as Brockbank, right back position. Will Fylde be able to bring the ball out? No is the answer, as Wilson tried to turn away and play to the left midfield, but that was loose. As Scarborough Athletic with Weleji throws it towards Bennett, little flick on looking for Dom Tier. Walker trying to help out as Fylde win it back. Ball's behind Tom Whelan, squares it across his defence. Good block coming in from Alex Brown, and just unfortunate. The first ricochet looked like it had landed right at his feet to run into the area, but it then spun away. But Scarborough have got the ball back with Waldron on halfway. His attempted ball through is cut out, and 0-0 the scoreline here at the moment on BBC Radio York. Mitchell bringing Fylde up the pitch, plays the ball along the deck left to Brockbank, into Mitchell again, tall midfielder with the long sleeves, trying to get away from his enemy number 4 in Maloney. Back to Whelan as Fylde moved the ball around the Scarborough half. It's 0-0 between Shrewsbury and Harrogate, but the visitors now down to 10 men in our DAB coverage. Jack Evans has been given 2 yellow cards as Brockbank plays to Merry. Fylde going sideways and backwards at the moment inside the Scarborough half, looking for an opening, similar to the first half where Scarborough stood off for the first 10 or 15 minutes.
I tell you what, this change of shape just helps Scarborough defend the width a little bit better as well, though, Fletch.
Yeah, it does. They're on the move, though. Whelan has a stinging shot that flies over the crossbar, and Craig Mann sort of sprints back, ducking towards his bench. They're very animated, these two, as they talk amongst themselves. Chances much more in favour of AFC Fylde throughout the game, but Scarborough won't mind them having shots from distance.
No, and I just think, if we're honest here, I mean, some of the footballers have actually been really good from Fylde. They've connected passes, they've moved the ball about the pitch, they've tried to create little pockets to get in and get turned. But the one thing that's been missing has been the quality of the finishing, which has been poor at times.
He booms it away in his baby blue kit, looking for Bennett, who's under pressure from the centre half. The second ball won back by Scarborough. Willedge getting up the pitch. He's won the knockdown as well, then tries to play to Walker. Willedge then charges in on Brockbank once again. Just a goal kick. But you have to say, Willedge given a bit more licence. Brown as well. They are pushing as high as possible. It's almost creating a line of 4, if you like, with Tearing behind.
Yeah, they look better for it, and they've obviously got the 3 at the back as well to defend the 2 strikers, so they've got an overload there.
Fylde confident playing out of the back, just pausing there because Dom Tier looked in an even contest to possibly win the ball in a really good position, but Fylde have broken down the mid-block. Here comes Tom Whelan. Whelan now poking the ball out to the left, this time for Greg Wilson to run onto near the corner flag. Brown back in the side after his month out of injury, into Luca Thomas, 20 yards from goal. Options is Brockbank curling, but wide of the target. The fullback getting right into the heart of the middle of the Scarborough pitch, curving one left of the goal.
Yeah, that's the only problem that Scarborough have got now from this change. I mean, there's only Maloney and Waldron in that central midfield area, and they've got 3 at times in there. The wide ones come in the opposite side of the pitch, ball side. It just opens the pitch up for the shot from the edge of the box, and he's unlucky there. It's a good effort. I think that Whitley probably had that covered, to be honest with you, the big man.
Yeah, he didn't look too afraid from our vantage point as Whitley now sends the ball flying forwards. Bennett has got the flick on, didn't land at Walker's feet. Tier then trying to run in. Both of them then stand off and watch Whelan bring the ball away. Past halfway for Fylde, it's Wilson. Wilson now, a ball through to Omerod, left wing area. Willedge is in front of him, cuts it back, chance for Fylde, wriggles through everybody. And it will be regathered over in the right wing position as Whelan will partner up now with Mitchell. Mitchell playing the ball into Healy-Byrne, but he momentarily loses possession and Fylde go back into their own half. 10 minutes into the second half here on BBC Radio York. AFC Fylde 0, Scarborough Athletic 0.
Yeah, and they're having to work hard again to keep that parity, Scarborough. I mean, they've had lots and lots of possession. I look to see the possession stats, but Fylde, but they just can't find that killer touch in front of goal.
It looks as though Harry Green might be getting ready to come on in a second change for Scarborough Athletic, taking off his training top and replacing it with his match strip. Be interesting to see what that does in terms of the shape in the wide areas of the attack, as Whelan, Corey Whelan that is, will play in towards Tom Whelan in the centre circle for AFC Fylde. Then Luca Thomas. Thomas we haven't seen yet really of an attacking proposition in terms of shots. Omerod, he's the more dangerous one in the game. Right side of the penalty area, closed down by Waldron, and then Brown comes in. Brown will look to send the ball down that left hand side, easily dealt with though by Tom Whelan, and it will be played now by Corey Whelan. Brockbank to his left hand side, receives the ball low at momentum, delivers to the front post, and Whitley has caught it in 2 hands, dives down near his near post, and well, the fans thought it was a corner. Linesman and the referee in communication thought otherwise. 0-0.
Good goalkeeping, safe hands, did well, got across his goal, collected at the near post. It was a poor ball in, to be fair, but they are finding little gaps at this moment in time, Fylde.
Well, Waldron's done well in midfield to win the ball back and now push through. Bennett was caught. Advantage offered Scarborough's way because Walker's in the area. He was about to blow for a free kick. Callum Jones was watching him as Brown delivers a ball in, looking for Willedge, gets contact, but then he's nudged his man over 6 yards from goal, and that's a free kick for Fylde. And on the far side, it looks as though Alex Brown, who's come on as a Waldron, I beg your pardon, is the one struggling, but thankfully getting back to his feet.
Yeah, he looks a bit ginger, to be fair, getting to his feet. I think he caught one on his left knee. Harry Green definitely coming on. We know what Green will give him. Pick the ball up and he'll run with it, he'll go past players and he'll ask them the question, which is probably what Scarborough's been missing from the game this afternoon.
It'll be interesting to see what the substitution is, and Bennett is going to be the one who's going to come off and Green will come on for him, so this means that Walker will now go into the striker position. Harry Harry Green comes on, messages to Dom Tier. Green left wing, Tier in the 10, and Weleji for now playing as a advanced right winger, if you like, but he will obviously track back in whenever possible to keep that shape of a 5-2-3 or a 5-4-1, however you want to look at it, as the ball has whistled through towards Whitley. 58 minutes gone, 0-0.
To be fair, John O'Green is rolling the dice to try and get his team into this game in front of goal, but it's a bit of a struggle.
It'll be a real test for Walker and co, though, up front, because at the minute, with this change of shape, it looks as though the only way they are landing balls high up the pitch and getting the attackers into the game is through a more direct aerial route, but now they're trying to get it down and playing. Green will try and twist his way through for the first time in that left wing, stopped by Healy Byrne, who dribbles away from the fresh-legged substitute, as Chris Merry, former Marine midfielder, will move the ball back out towards Healy Byrne, and then goes into the defence again with Taylor, back to Jones, and Fylde will work from right to left as they build out at the back.
Yeah, it's good play. Yeah, I mean, they are a good football side. You've got to give them credit where credit's due, but nothing in front of goal at the moment.
Well, they're coming forward now. Mitchell, low ball played in and swept up by Will Thornton. The ball has gone out for a corner kick.
Do you know, that's what I like about Will Thornton. You know, uncompromising at time, just heads and kicks. You know, he can play out from the back, but gets in key positions. Got himself right in front of the goal on the edge of the 6-yard box, knew where the ball was coming, cleared his lines. Brilliant from the big man.
What will Fylde make of this corner, however, as just watching Mitchell try and drag Jake Hull away. There's 7 in the box of Scarborough Athletic colours. Walker, Green there high up the pitch. There was a short option as well, which has now been rejected, and Callum Jones, the referee, blows the whistle. The Fylde fans were banging the drum and trying to create some atmosphere at that end. Callum Jones, though, just making a momentary silence, as we'll see the ball coming in a moment. Lots of bodies in the 6-yard box again. Peeling away as Thomas, delivered to the back post. Whitley's got it watched, and that one flies out of play, and it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a poor ball that goes straight out of play. I mean, it doesn't give any attacker in a white shirt chance to get on anything on that. Just takes the pressure off Scarborough.
A reminder for Borough fans listening in that you can have your say during the match. 81333 via text and 08000 321 on WhatsApp. Start your messages with the word York. York City will follow our FM and BBC Sounds coverage. Kickoff is at 5:30. So we will have reaction with Jonathan Greening via BBC Sounds. Just search for Scarborough Athletic. That'll be uploaded during the York City match against Southend. 0-0 at the moment. Defensively, they've done very well. They need a bit more in attack, however, do the Sea Dogs, who are keeping Fylde honest. They have broken through a couple of times. There's going to be a free kick on halfway, just because Tom Whelan was caught by Jack Waldron. What have you made of Waldron in the centre midfield?
Yeah, he's done all right. I mean, it's not his natural position, you can tell that, but he's a good footballer, very athletic, mobile, quick, bites in the tackle. You know, and he's sat in and just been disciplined, which is what's been needed.
Well, he's intercepted the ball and finds Green. Green trying to play the ball away, but easily closed by Brockbank into Tom Whelan, trying to play a through ball that wasn't on, it was too straight, and Whitley will get his foot on the ball. He's going to invite Luca Thomas towards him, and Whitley will pick it up in his 6-yard box. Jonathan Greening, Redders, Jonathan Greening, I think, just sending Rio Allen on a warm-up now as he keeps everyone fresh and rotating.
Yeah, I think that's all they can do, really. I mean, the back line and midfield are doing well.
Walker, Route 1 style, now tries to cut it back, and there is a chance here for Scarborough. Didn't expect the ball to fly through and give Walker the opportunity to run in behind. The cutback didn't come to anything. Jake Hull recollects just past halfway. He'll go out for a throw-in and past Jonathan Greening's technical area. Sorry, Redders.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's starting to open up a little bit now. The game's starting to get a little bit more stretched. I mean, I don't know who that favours. I mean, obviously, look at the personnel that's on the pitch for Scarborough now. You know, with the movement of Harry Green, and obviously Dom Tier getting forward. You know, players with pace. You can get Walker on the ball. If they can get Walker in front of goal with a chance, you just know that he'll hit the back of the net.
Well, his next goal will take him into double figures as Waldron tries to send the ball flying forward, getting a little bit more cagey as Neil Redfern mentions ball zipping about a bit more and it's changing hands a bit quicker as Waldron collects to Wileji. Shrewsbury have gone in front now against Harrogate on our DAB coverage. Shrewsbury leading 1-0 in that big battle down at the wrong end of League Two. Could be telling at the end of the season. Hull, he loses possession trying to close down. Now for Wilson coming the other way, stepping in his Will Thornton. Just stuck his toe out. Now he's going to win the free kick in the right back area as Wilson catches him. Thornton unhappy about it, but needs to just let it go.
Yeah, it's a great tackle, to be fair. Read it brilliantly. It's been outstanding again, the big man Thornton at the back. Covers the ground, organises people, gets in key areas. He's forming a good partnership with Jake Hull, to be fair. The both of them complement one another well. Never really get done for pace, so they get in good positions, good starting positions. But they've had to defend well today. They're a good side, Fylde.
Well, Fylde are about to roll the dice with their substitutions. Craig Mann looked like he had a few of them prepared in his pocket, keeping the little slips that you have for making the changes. It looks as though Jonathan Ustabasi is going to be coming on as the ball flies forward for Scarborough Athletic. In the meantime, the drummers carry on drumming away to our left as the atmosphere builds inside Mill Farm. Neat 1-2s from Fylde with a bit of zip. Thomas gives it away though, and Waldron should have maybe gone forward, instead side-footed it to Maloney, who tries to switch it over to Brown. Headed away though by Healy-Byrne. Ustabasi is the man who's going to be coming on for AFC Fylde. Started the season on fire with a brace on the opening day, and now Fylde coming the other way though. Omerod will play to Luca Thomas, his strike partner, 20 yards out, tries to cut it onto his left foot, does shoot down the middle, and Ryan Whitley will just parcel that one up diving down.
Yeah, he's got himself in a good position, Ryan Whitley. He's unlucky on the edge of the box. Omerod just trying to work half a yard to get his shot off, but that was Scarborough getting caught in possession in midfield and ended up with a 3-on-3.
0-0, 65 minutes gone here on BBC Radio York. Fylde now playing the ball through to Omerod. This is dangerous. Omerod, it's hit Whitley, and that is so unfortunate for Ryan Whitley because he made one save and then the ball's bumped into his side and it's trickled into the back of the net. That will probably go down as an own goal, but Danny Omerod will take the plaudits now. AFC Fylde 1, Scarborough Athletic 0.
Well, that's about losing possession in midfield to begin with. As the ball gets slowed down the side of the box to Omerod, and strikes it beautifully, but it's a savable shot. You know, he gets his angles right, to be fair, Whitley, but there's no way that ball should go through him from there. You've got to put that down as a goalkeeping error.
Rio Allen looks like he might be coming on in a moment, and we'll see the change for AFC Fylde. Greg Wilson is going to be making his way off. Well, they have to now come out. We know that Jonathan Greening's side will never rest on their laurels, and this is the invitation now where they have to come out for the next 25 minutes. And if anything, Neil Redfern, bizarrely, the fact that the game will now open up, because Fylde at 1-0, they're going to go hunting the second goal, of course they are, but they've got to be wary that Scarborough are now going to throw a hammer and tongue at them.
Well, the game's starting to get stretched already as it is, Fletch, but what it does is, you know, they're going to have to go and try and get the equaliser, and I'm sure Jono will play like that. But I just think that the change of shape just emptied the midfield a little bit. There's only two in there, and they took advantage of it, to be fair, Fylde.
Allen is going to be coming on in a moment for Scarborough Athletic as Ustabasi into the game, tries to take the ball off Kieran Wileji. So Fylde now leading by 1-0. And we'll run through some more of those score lines across the National League North as the ball drops out of play. Bedford 2, Southport 1 is the latest scoreline. Buxton lead at home to Marine. Chester 2, Chorley 1. The result of the day, surely, is Curzon Ashton 0, Telford United 6, Darlington 2, Alfreton 1, Worksop still 2-0 up away at Kidderminster. 0-0 still between Kings Lynn and Hereford and Macclesfield and Oxford as a heavy challenge comes in from Wileji. That time on Ustabasi, who's just come on. He gets a yellow card for his troubles. Just to complete the scorelines: Merthyr 0, Peterborough 0, South Shields 3, Leamington 0, and Spennymoor 0, Radcliffe 3.
Yeah, it looks like John O'Green is going to play his hand with the substitute Rio Allen. Coming on for Michael Duckworth.
Yeah, it must be a back four now if he's coming off. And Maloney and Waldron will sit alongside each other. Tier in the 10, Allen on the right, Green on the left, and Walker stays up front. Nothing to lose now.
No, I mean, to be fair, these changes have, you know, they still kept the balance amongst the side. I just think that going to a back five initially left them with two in midfield, and I think that they've made advantage of that. Fylde, they've dominated that area. They've got possession countless times where they broke, where Scarborough's given the ball away because they've been a little bit light in there. It's ended up with a ball in the back of the net.
Danny Omerod, who scored it, his 10th goal in 10 appearances, taking his tally to 21 in all competitions for the season. Waldron scampers over to this right hand side, loses out to Osterbassi, and he will now run in from 25 yards, plenty around him in yellow shirts. Chris Merry will move the ball on to Omerod. Omerod claiming the goal, but probably will go down as a Ryan Whitley own goal, as Mitchell will move the ball towards Taylor into Healy Byrne. Fylde not deviating away from their principles as they try and pass and wait for Scarborough to come up the pitch. Maloney the most advanced. Green.
You look at the shape now, though. There's a definite gap between the midfield and the front. As the front go after it and go hunting it, there's a space for Fylde to play into.
And they're on the move again here in that right wing position. It's Healy Byrne, Omerod and Osterbassi are just queuing up and waiting as the home side try and unpick a Scarborough defence which remains resolute on this occasion. Back it goes now towards Tom Whelan. Brockbank and Osterbassi options as left-sided. They try and play it in. A slide comes in from Jake Hull. Now, Fylde feel that there could have been some murmuring of a penalty there, but the fans wanted it. Hull backed out of it, and the ball ran through to Whitley without any contact being made. Yeah,
I mean, look, the ball had gone. You know, it wasn't the right pass or the right way to pass. You know, and the players came together, so the team in possession weren't in control of the ball.
Offside given anyway. Ryan Whitley told to plonk the ball down by Callum Jones, and he sends it long over Ryan Green's head, but lands at the feet.
Great touch
of Walker. It was a good touch, wasn't it? Bringing it down, cushioning it. Waldron up to Rio Allen. That's a good touch as well. Oh, that must be surely some form of a foul for Scarborough Athletic. Well, the referee has thought about it, and I think he's given a free kick just outside the box. It was Green who went down. He was caught by the last man. The referee has given it, and a yellow card comes out for Taylor.
Yeah, at first I thought he wasn't going to give it. I mean, it took a long seemed like an eternity to give it. I mean, it was an obvious foul. I mean, this is Harry Green territory.
Maloney as well thinking about this, but your thoughts on whether it was in or outside of the area, Redders?
It's difficult to see in it from here, mate, but I mean, it was right on the line if it wasn't in. But you know, you've seen them given. The referee wasn't in a very good position, to be honest with you.
It was good play from Scarborough to actually try and unlock, and can they take advantage of this free kick opportunity which Allen and Maloney stand over? It was a great touch from Rio Allen to keep the play moving. By far and away the best move Scarborough have had after 71 minutes. Now can they, from here, fire it into the back of the net with Maloney? There is a four-man wall for AFC Fylde right on the white paint of the 18-yard line. Almost impossible to dip up and over. Fylde have put a man behind the wall as well, laid down on the deck. Thornton Willedge there, ready and waiting to pounce. Maloney takes it, and into the net! Deflected by Maloney, and that helped him out. Maloney leads the army of yellow shirts over to the away end, lets out a roar. Scarborough back level, 1 goal apiece.
Yeah, what a goal of real quality. It's a fantastic strike, but I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing, Jones, for Fylde, because that seemed to go in the centre of the goal, came off the other side of the bar, maybe a bit missighted. But you know what? They've shown character and they've shown grit and determination, and it's no more than they've deserved in this last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, there would have been questions probably of free kick or penalty in the post-match if Maloney hadn't have taken that opportunity.
Yeah.
Hit it with power, and that little deflection off the wall, and the goalkeeper not being able to get across. Didn't fly right into the top left corner,
no,
but the net certainly bulged. It had power on it.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's been good today as well, Lewis Maloney. You know what he's going to get. You know, his passing's good, he's got good awareness, good vision, switches play well, competes, puts his foot in.
Well, it was a joy to see the away end up on their feet. Around 150 of them have made the journey, maybe more. And the resilience that the Scarborough Athletic team have got in the short term to be back level at 1 goal apiece, just 6 minutes between the goals. As Osterbasi down the left wing is closed down by Maloney. 2 goals since coming back from injury. And he isn't the most high scoring of players. He's caught out though by Merry into the penalty area for Omerod, tries to push that behind Mitchell, and then Merry demands it again. Brockbank inverted from left back, 20 yards maybe more from goal, plays to Osterbasi. Allen tracks him down, so now they're back level, Neil Redfern, because they're sticking in their shape. They've got to be so switched on out wide with attack minded players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what they've got to be next 4 or 5 minutes is switched on. So how many times you see teams concede again?
Mitchell into the area, takes a shot left side of the box, 10 yards out, blocked well. Brown has come right across into the right back position and wins a throw in for his side. So once again we're back at where we were roughly 10 minutes ago. Could see throughout the game the AFC Fylde technical area always in conversation, being animated, trying to get their team going. Jonathan Greening carefully and quietly plotting, and he's seen his team come back into the game in the short moment. We've still got a quarter of an hour to go. This game's got a whole different dimension now. Both teams have managed to bulge the net.
Well, it's definitely rocked them back a little bit, Fylde, because obviously got themselves in front, got the noses in front with a good goal. You know, they have had the vast majority of possession. They've played some good football at times, but this Scarborough side just doesn't give in. They've got the reward for that.
Osterbasi chipping one past Waldron. The ball has gone out for a throw-in just past Jonathan Greening's technical area. So they've made 3 changes so far of Scarborough Athletic. Looking at what's left on the bench, Rocco Coyle, Leon Gibson-Booth as well. They're the 2 outfielders that are available to Jonathan Greening, a defensive-minded player, and then a settler, if you like, in the midfield in Rocco Coyle, as Brown has gone in aggressively on Healy Byrne, trying to close down a ball away. Free kick right side of Fylde's half, and they're wanting to hurry along now with 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, this, from the position they were in, this had looked like 2 points dropped, to be honest with you. Fylde, you know, they've played all the football and created probably the most of the chances, but like I said, you know, the resilience that Scarborough show, prepared to give any side a game.
Willegi managing to thud a ball clear. Brockbank picks up in the left back area. Now for Corey Whelan, back to Taylor, and then Zach Jones playing out short and Fylde with Healy Byrne. They're just needing a couple of minutes of calm, I think, just to get back to their rhythm and their tempo.
It's that ball
out well.
It's that ball from into out, you know, that goes into them centrally, where they've just emptied the midfield a little bit. There's only Maloney in there at the moment.
See Dom Tier trudging back in. Waldron is there as well now as Mitchell plays to Osterbasi. He has got a runner in Omerod. Michael Duckworth coming back out with his long coat on now, taking his seat. On the far side, Healy Byrne up towards the final third. Luca Thomas has had a quiet afternoon so far. Shot from a long way out, that time from Tom Whelan, but just battered away by the defence in yellow shirts. Maloney goes down to the deck. I think he was looking for a free kick. Callum Jones didn't take the bait. Osterbasi now left wing. He's got a runner in Brockbank. Whelan up to Omerod. What a shot, but what just over the crossbar. Took it in so well, spun, and Jonathan Greening's face says it all. Raises his eyebrows to his bench and knows that if Omerod had scored there, that would have been a masterclass.
Yeah, he's been the threat, hasn't he, for Fylde, Omerod. You know, he looks like he's the one that could open the door again. It's a great ball, to be fair, and spot from Whelan. Just picked him out. 15-yard pass, forward pass into the box. It's a good touch and turn, but he needs to keep his shot down, and that rises over the bar. It's very, very close.
My numbers might be off, but I've got 12 shots to 3 in favour of AFC.
Yeah, that sounds about right, to be honest with you. But the only stat that matters, mate, is the one in the top left-hand corner of your screen.
Absolutely.
1-1.
You have to wonder, though, some of the chances that Fylde have passed by. Whitley with a wonderful save in the first half, even though it was down the middle, it should have been 1-0. But at the other end, Zach Jones hasn't really had to get busy, but he's picked the ball out of his net. 12 minutes to run of normal time. It's AFC Fylde 1, Scarborough Athletic 1. Goals all over the place in the National League North. We'll run through those when we get chance, but this game has got real attacking purpose now. Ustabasi area, left of it, cuts away from Wileji, has a shot deflected away by Hull and behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, he's looked very lively, to be fair, since he's come on, Ustabasi. Well, it's a great run, just levels him up. Wileji drops his shoulder and goes past him, Ustabasi. It's a great finish and it deflects wide for a corner.
The substitute hasn't had too many starts this season in comparison. He's been out injured over Christmas as well, as Fylde will deliver into the area, front of the 6-yard box. Whitley came for it! He spilt it. There was a touch and it was cleared away off the line by Scarborough Athletic. And Whitley, was he nudged? Couldn't see through the traffic, but he's gesturing that he might have been caught. Throwing for Fylde, still in the final third, as Brockbank gives it towards Tom Whelan. Arms apart, wants some movement from those ahead of him. Instead goes sideways to Brockbank, looks to feed it down the line, and it's a decent little turn away there from Corey Whelan, sliding in his tier, low ball played in, Waldron in the way, and he will play out to Green. Neat turn, past halfway, Scarborough launched the counter, Green from 10 yards in his own half, then caught 20 yards further forward, asks for a free kick, isn't going to get one, and now the other way, Maloney has chopped down Tom Whelan, and Whelan is furious about it. Yellow card comes out and melee ensues inside the centre circle. Maloney taking one for the team. Jimmy Beadle, the coach, seeing the funny side of it. Tempers fraying because Scarborough feel that they should have had a free kick themselves when Harry Green was caught.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a couple of challenges there were a little bit naughty. I mean, he's been an outstanding player, Whelan, in midfield for Fylde. Just picks it up and glides past a couple of challenges, but there were no getting away from that one from Maloney.
I mean, how high did he catch him as well?
Yeah, it's like I say, he took one for the team, because if he goes past Maloney, he's running at the back line, 3 white shirts against 2 centre-backs.
I mean, they're not referring to it in that exact moment, Scarborough Athletic, on their social media, but the phrase "oh my" has just come out after clearing the ball away on their own goal line.
Yeah, well, they have acknowledged it, to be fair.
1-1 at the moment, into the final 10 minutes. It's getting spicy at Mill Farm, as the very experienced Danny Mayer is going to be coming on 500 Football League appearances. Left his mark on the game right back at the start of the season when he came on at half-time. He's got 9 minutes of normal time, plus stoppages to make something happen for the home team. But Scarborough still look energised at 1-1 after so much defending they've had to do, as the home side in their white shirts come forward. It's with Tom Whelan. Whelan now looking to shoot from 30 yards. Waldron pickpockets him, then can't get the ball away. You've got to win the ball back quickly, Scarborough, because Fylde are knitting it together. Edge of the box right side. Well intervened that time by Harry Green, dropping in almost as a centre half with Brown to his left-hand side as they work the ball back. Fylde towards Taylor on halfway. Walker alone at the moment. The midfield aren't interested in pressing.
No, I mean, they've moved the ball really, really well in the final third and kept it, Fylde, but they've kept the discipline, Scarborough.
Ustabasi to Whelan into the penalty area, stops in his tracks by Jake Hull, and it was just like a brick wall, if you like, a yellow one, as Maloney got up as well. The referee just brings a halt to the game when Fylde want to take the throw-in quickly, as Mayer is coming on, and I think maybe Mitchell might be coming off. He's right in front of the technical area, and that will be the case as Mitchell comes off and Mayer comes on. So another attack-minded midfield option for Fylde, showing the depth of their squad, which is maybe why they're up in this breakaway trio at the moment of South Shields and Merthyr. As they take the throw in now, it's Brockbank to Merry gives it to Mayer. First touches of the game, 25 yards out from goal. Now to Luca Thomas, right side, trying to cut in from Brown, pushes it back towards Mayer, but there's enough yellow shirts in the way to temporarily get the ball to safety. Back it goes again towards Taylor, centre circle to Tom Whelan, plays it on now to Mayer. He's going to look to tiptoe forward away from Walker. Even he's dropping in now, almost like two banks of five in the moment. Back to Whelan again. 35 yards out, clips one down the middle. Hull gets a touch, then Welegi's header away, caught by Ustabasi. Free kick 30 yards from their own goal line, Scarborough.
Yeah, really brave there, the defender, Kieran Welegy. Just put his body on the line, got his head on it, won the free kick for his team. Just gives them a chance to have a breather, get up the pitch, take the game to Fylde a little bit more. But this will be an excellent point for Scarborough if they can manage to get over the line with this.
It would be a sensational result. There is still football to be played. Let me bring you some scores while I can. I'll give you a bunch of them. Chester 3, Chorley 2 is the latest score. Darlington still winning at home against Alfreton. Worksop are still leading away at Kidderminster. Radcliffe are 3-1 up at Spennymoor. South Shields are 3-0 up at home to Leamington. Significant for Fylde as Green into the area. He's dribbled through 2 or 3 and now sets a ball towards the crossbar. Was waiting for someone to run in. Allen has got to hot-foot it to keep it in play and can't do so. Now Allen lambasts the linesman. It was right in front of the Scarborough fans.
He actually put his flag up there, the linesman, before it actually ran out. The ball was still rolling, wasn't out of play.
Well, that's why Allen's annoyed, and that's why the Scarborough fans are venting their frustration. Standout scoreline of the day: Curzon Ashton 0, AFC Telford United 8 is the latest scoreline, and Telford are playing away as well as Tia tries to feed the ball down the right wing towards Walker. The foot race is on. Cut close down by Tom Whelan, the cross blocked well, and Fylde now want to play out the back. Hull, now he looks like he's wrestled his man Omerod right in front of Craig Mahon and the fourth official. Referee lets it go. Jonathan Greening, smile on his face. They haven't really exchanged words, both managers, throughout the match in their matching jackets, league jackets. As Mayer in the centre circle will now drift out to the right hand side from the centre. He's still going. Mayer, little through ball, looking here for Healy Byrne. Big save
great
from
save.
Whitley, tips it behind for a corner.
Yeah, great save, got his angles all right there. To be fair, Ryan Whitley stood up big at his near post, got a good strong hand on it, push it away for a corner. Just looking a little bit more inventive now, Fylde in and around the box. Great little ball inside the fullback to find him.
Well, the stand that Fylde are attacking the big terrace at the moment. No drumming, just maybe getting a little bit, not impatient. They aren't getting on the backs of their team, but they know that time is against them. 4.5 minutes of normal time. In comes the cross, and then a decent touch. Whitley saves, but on the follow-up it's in. And Omerod headers it home on the rebound, and Whitley again sort of patted it in the first instance, then cleared to Omerod, and he heads home from 5 yards. Fylde are back in front. AFC Fylde 2, Scarborough Athletic 1.
Yeah, they didn't really deal with the corner, didn't get the first contact, still loose in the box, and they're Johnny on the spot. To be fair, it's a good finish. Just buckled under the pressure a little bit there, Scarborough. I was looking at Jono's face. It's so annoying when you're so close to getting a decent result and it's taken away from you.
I don't know who this is who's coming down to speak to Craig Mahon by the technical area, but he came down at half time as well. I do wonder if it's actually the chairman.
Yeah, it's the owner, isn't it?
Coming down and having his words of what he wants in the final 3.5 minutes as he makes his way back up to the top of the stand. Don't think I've ever seen that before at a game. The owner coming down and having his input. Fylde lead by 2-1, and now they've just got to go all out attack here, Scarborough Athletic. They are going to be making a change in the last few minutes as Rocco Coyle is going to be coming on. Craig Mahon just giving his cheeks a good stretch with his hands as he wonders now how Fylde are going to protect their lead. Fylde 2, Scarborough Athletic 1, after getting back level with Lewis Maloney with a bullet free kick which was deflected. We'll see the substitution come now, with Scarborough waiting to take a throw-in on halfway. Rocco Coyle is going to be coming on, and Waldron will be making his way off in a simple midfield swap.
Waldron, I think that's to protect Waldron a little bit. He's put a shift in today on him. His legs must be feeling a little bit weary.
He's had to do two jobs, not just his natural full-back position of defending, but also trying to orchestrate the play as well alongside Maloney. Coyle on the field with Maloney and Tier in that midfield three. Omerod coming forward, and on the right hand side he tries to slide the ball in behind the back four, and then a nudge on the edge of the area on that time. Dom Tier brings a free kick the way of Scarborough, and Whitley is going to just try and blast this up the pitch. 2-1 Fylde lead here on BBC Radio York in the closing stages. Normally Scarborough so good at keeping teams out at the end of matches, as Weleji has won it high. Now then, a chance out of nothing. Weleji tries to cut it to the edge of the area. It was between Allen and Coyle, and he needed to just carry on running into the box. Didn't do so. 90 seconds of normal time left. Fylde lead 2-1. Whitley coming to the edge of his box to parcel up a through ball, which goes awry for Fylde.
Yeah, good goalkeeping, just backing up his back line. Good information to leave it. Still in this game though, Scarborough.
Chopped down on the far side is Harry Green. Free kick, and another card coming out, I think. That one will be for Healy Byrne if the yellow card eventually materialised. I thought I saw referee Jones go to his pocket. Attendance 1,033 here at Mill Farm. Good chunk of those coming from Scarborough Athletic away to our right hand side. As Fylde prepare a double change right towards the end of the game. Luke Hunter's going to be coming on to freshen up the attack. We'll see the other one in a moment as Hull from the free kick headed into the box. Coyle just trying to have a volley inside the area on the right, and then it's poked out of play by Taylor as Scarborough in the 90th minute with Alex Brown picks up a dry ball and he's going to try and cannon this with his hands into the penalty area. Here it comes. It's a decent looking one as well. Flicked by Hull up into the air. Who's going to get the knockdown? Hull trying to create an opening as Thornton kept it moving. Head tennis on the edge of the box, and now Fylde swipe away. Will Lancaster's going to be coming on as well for Fylde. Green now collects, tries to push it through. Blocked well though by Whelan. Throw in at the Fylde technical area.
Yeah, I mean they're going to use this opportunity to make the subs just to run the clock down a little bit. Fylde. It's been helter-skelter second half. Tempo's not dropped. It's been a cracking game, I have to say. Credit to both sides.
Well, great advertisement for the game. The fourth official will have to get the numbers up first for the substitutions to take place. And Luca Thomas will be one of those who's going to be coming off. Thomas has been pretty quiet, I think, for me in comparison to Omerod, who's got the 2 goals to his name. Even though we think one of them will go down as an own goal, and the other change we'll see Chris Merry making his way off in midfield to be replaced by Will Lancaster. So they, as you say, Redders, just trying to chomp into the time, but looking for the board to see how much stoppage time we're going to have. There'll be another minute because of those 2 substitutes. The game hasn't restarted yet, and we've already played 1 minute. As the game is back underway. Maloney loses possession. Green trying to win it back with Whelan. On the move, Fylde come. Whelan will get his team moving. There's going to be 5 minutes of injury time. Fylde at the other end, however. And carnage inside the box. Neither team can trap it and look after it. Brown, left side of the area, will clear away. Fylde though win it around the centre circle. Scarborough can't get out at the moment. Omerod, he's been given man of the match and he stays on side. Chance to seal it! Smashes the crossbar from a touch from Ryan Whitley. That would have put the game beyond Scarborough's reach. It would have completed Omerod's hat-trick. What a dangerous shot that was, and Fylde are just conveyor belting chances now at the moment. Scarborough just can't get a hold of it, but the ball now runs out for a throw, and Ostabasi can't trap it down in the right back position.
Yeah, I mean it's gone really, really stretched the game. Chances at both ends, but it looks like they're going to hang on for the points. Fylde
3 minutes, and then whatever else Callum Jones decides to give. Fylde 2, Scarborough 1. Sloppy on the left-hand side, and Brown has been pickpocketed. Fylde with a chance to kill it off here. Hunter with the shot over the bar. Brown completely switched off. And where's this come from Scarborough Athletic since they've fallen behind? Normally teams respond, but Scarborough at the minute just need a few seconds to unscramble their brains, if you like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was very unlike Brown. I mean, he's such a good competitor and a good footballer. Just got caught there.
Well, we're not following the runner of Osterbassi, who tries to get down the left wing. Out of play for a throw, and you can see from Jay Cole trotting over to take this throw in how tired he is as he throws it back to Ryan Whitley. 2-1 Fylde lead.
It's got to go up the pitch on it now. Must.
Long ball, Brockbank not the most convincing of headers. Returned by Willeji, down by their own corner flag. Fylde, they got the last touch, and it's out for a throw in. Brown will get the chance to swing one in. Fylde have got a man down, however, and Scarborough think he's play acting. It looks as though one of the substitutes who's just come on in Lancaster is down hurt. Callum Jones wants the physio to come on. He asked the question of whether he could be rolled off the pitch there, the referee. The physio comes on, and a Scarborough Athletic supporter getting very animated indeed and letting his thoughts be known. Coming right down to the side of the pitch and shouting very aggressively. As Callum Jones now going over to the physio and saying that the player, if he's okay to play, will be coming off. They're going to make the change. And the player who was down was Liam Brockbank, and on comes Liam McFadden. Reminder that all this time will get added on, and the game was just stopped there for a good minute and a half.
Yeah, I don't know how that benefits Fylde, to be honest with you.
Whitley's gone forward, I've just noticed as well. Up into the picture, Brown, he will throw it in. Hull trying to flick it on, still inside the area. Brown with a chance to cross towards the back post, over Whitley's head. Fylde now want to clear away. It's Maloney to Green, they've kept it alive here, left side of the box. Green, everyone back for Fylde. Green trying to work out a chance to shoot. Will he get the shot away? Blocked first time, then the ball pops away, and Whitley has got to hot foot it back, but Fylde can't keep the ball. Osterbassi livid with Lancaster as Coyle now tries to be direct and go forward. Whitley still on halfway, and a chance from quite a long way out from Tom Whelan. That one's gone horribly wide of the target. Fylde now pushing on. Whitley might have to take the throw in here at this rate. Goodness me.
I mean, they've given absolutely everything on the Scarborough.
96th minute, Whitley just bumps the ball against the pressing Omerod. A word or two exchanged with Maloney as they get in a tangle. Back towards halfway. So how many more minutes are we going to get from the injury of Lancaster, the extra minute from the substitutes? Probably another 2 minutes, I reckon.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, if the referee's been true to the situations that have happened, I mean, there's still, you just feel there's still an opportunity in this game. They can get the ball up the other end, Scarborough.
Wasn't expecting Whitley to come flying up. He doesn't normally go up. Well, he hasn't in recent times anyway. Throwing down the line by AFC Fylde, flicked into the path of Osterbassi. Hull is the only one back. Osterbassi's got the pace. Hull with a slide tackle does well. It's going to be a corner though. Now Hull feels that he got not the last touch, but Osterbassi did. And the corner to come in. Fylde, as you would expect, in absolutely no rush, and they are just going to corner flag it, I would suspect, as we enter the 97th minute, and the first time really where we feel like, from being in the ground, that the game might just be up here for Scarborough Athletic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call in it to get the ball out of the corner now and get it up the other end.
There's the final whistle. So 97 minutes of football. It really came to life in the second half after a nip and tuck opening 45 where Scarborough Athletic sat in defensively. Fylde couldn't break them down. Whitley with a big save, and we was having his plaudits at half-time for keeping Fylde at bay, but the first goal hitting Whitley on his side, trickling into the net, and maybe with the eventual winner from Tammy Omerod, you have to argue as well there might have been something in that where either the goalkeeper or the defence let the rest of the team down. They got themselves back level through Lewis Maloney with a bullet free kick, but at full time Neil Redfern, Fylde have got the job done and won by 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look at the game overall, the possession, and the chances that Fylde created. You have to say they probably deserve that on the balance of play, but you have to give Scarborough the credit for playing a part in a fantastic game of football. I mean, that's the way that football should be played. Some good passing movements, chances at both ends, some great defending, and they're on just the wrong side of a good result there, Scarborough. Brilliant effort.
It was a free hit coming into the game anyway, because of where the margin of the playoff places. Scarborough, after today's results, will be still 3 points inside the playoffs, but what they have showed here in someone's backyard is they can go toe-to-toe with one of the 3 breakaway clubs who have all won today. South Shields on 59, Fylde on 57 and Merthyr on 56. It really feels like there's no catching them now as the Scarborough players make their way over to applaud the Scarborough fans who've made the journey towards Lancashire. Obviously disappointment very much in the short term, but they'll look back on this and at least accept that there was a gargantuan effort and they nearly came away from here with a point.
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought they competed brilliantly throughout the game. They just lost the way at times in the first half, with the passing, how to get out, with the team so dominant in possession. I thought John Oates moved his cards around really well. I thought the changes of shape worked. Initially the 5 at the back was a problem because they got outnumbered in midfield, and that's where the first goal came. But after that, he's changed it again to a 4 and they got back in it. They got the goal, got back in it. It's a great finish from Maloney. And you're just thinking, try and get over the line and get that point, because it would be a magnificent point at this place.
Well, they go to Kidderminster, they play at home against Kidderminster in the next game. I'll quickly run through the scores for you. Kidderminster grabbing a late equaliser in the 92nd minute, so they will be 4th. Radcliffe will be 5th in the table. Scarborough 3 points safe in the playoff places. Darlington behind them on 39. Buxton 37. Macclesfield are creeping their way into contention, as are Telford, who have won today by 8-0. An unbelievable scoreline there. But it also would appear, Neil Redfern, final one before we hand back, they've come through this unscathed by the looks of things.
Yeah, exactly. And I think John can be pleased with his team's output, his team's performance. They battle gallantly again. They go for teams. They never give up. They don't settle for the draw. They keep on pushing, and they've just been the wrong side of a really good game of football today.
So the full-time score here in Lancashire is Fylde 2, Scarborough 1. Reaction to come with Jonathan Greening via BBC Sounds. But for now, we're going to start our build-up to York City's clash with Southend United, plus get what's happened between Shrewsbury and Harrogate Town with Pete Spencer. Full-time from Lancashire, Fylde leave it late to beat Scarborough Athletic by 2-1.
If you like this...
What are you telling me? You're a traitor?
Yes! Get in there! Then you'll love the final week of The Traitors Uncloaked. We'll get to see how the final few faithful react when they find out who the traitors are. And we'll chat to celebrity fans to hear their theories on what's going to happen next.
This is mega. I feel like I'm back in the game.
They've done it again. I was absolutely hooked.
See and hear it all in the nail-biting last week of The Traitors Uncloaked, the official visualised companion podcast with me, Ed Gamble. Watch on iPlayer, listen for more on BBC Sounds.
Every game live and getting you closer to your club.
BBC Radio York Sport.
BBC Radio York Sport, Pete Spencer taking you through full time. We'll start our build up to York City against Southend United shortly here on BBC Radio York. It finished AFC Fylde 2, Scarborough Athletic 1 with James Fletcher and Neil Redfern. A brace from Danny Ormeroyd either side of a fantastic Lewis Maloney free kick, but Scarborough Athletic couldn't hold on for the points in the end. Also full time at Crowd Meadow, a bad-tempered end to the game between Harrogate Town away at Shrewsbury. Bring us up to date with what's happened today, Tim Steer.
Well, we'll start with the scoreline, which was Shrewsbury Town 1, Harrogate Town 0, in a game which in the second half just went absolutely mental, to be honest. It all started when Jack Evans was sent off. He got a booking in the second minute of the game. His second yellow card came on 51 minutes after he lost possession of the ball down the left-hand touchline, and he went to pick up the ball as if he was going to maybe take the throw because he thought it took a little deflection. He just chucked it round his back behind him. He was still off the field of play at this point, chucked the ball behind him, and the referee saw that to be enough to be him time wasting and throwing the ball away, and it was a second yellow card, and he was sent off, and Harrogate Town were down to 10 men. That was from the 51st minute. So Shrewsbury, as you can imagine, buoyed by that, knowing how much a win would mean to them. No wins in 8 league games for Shrewsbury Town coming into this